been watching myself at all. And of course, it bit me back. I even had fried chicken. Publix has some really good fried chicken that, if my stomach could handle it and if it was good for me, I could eat it a lot more often.
Mm.
But I gave in and yeah, I got reflux and it was not pleasant.
Mm. Mm.
I mean, not even laying down reflux, like straight up reflux before even sitting down. I was like, "Oh, but it tasted so good going in." Wah. Oh, I know. That makes me so sad. Now, since Diva's gonna open up another, side chat, I'll be trying to click on everybody so y'all can see each other from it
I know.
with my
Hello, God's desire for me.
crazy eyes going on, but, yeah, tonight I wanted to talk about encouragement because I actually, first of all, I had found these stretches that, they're called somatic stretches, and supposedly they help, like, emotionally, the way that you stretch. And I was like, "Oh, that's got come on, that's weird." So I went in and I did this one stretch, and she was like, "Okay, be prepared to cry if you do this one stretch." And all it is you're just laying on a pillow to where the pillow stops at the base of your spine. And, Theron walked in, and of course, he loved this stretch because you basically are opening up your legs, you're putting your feet together, opening up your knees as much as you
Mhm.
can to where you feel weightless, and you just lay back and on the pillow on, like, a
Mhm.
bed and allow your body to feel just heavy and weightless and just relax there in that pose for a bit. I was like, I don't feel like crying," but, like, all kinds of stuff was going through my head. And then I saw that short that I shared with you, and I start crying. I
Was
start
just a bit
crying.
delayed. Was just a
Yes,
little bit
it was a
delayed.
little delayed, so I guess it kinda works. It's supposed to bring down your cortisol. We'll see. I'm gonna try some of the stretches because there is a book out, The Body Keeps Score, and I haven't read it. I really wanna listen to it on audio because 'cause I've heard it's a great book. And
Mhm.
sometimes people with fibro find that, once they go through, like, some of these stretches even, have gone through the somatic stretching, going through, counseling and cognitive behavioral therapy, some of their pain decreases because it's related
Mm.
more to trauma,
Right.
that is stuck in the body that needs to just get out.
Mm.
People find that through prayer too. They, go through
Mhm.
prayer ministries and receive healing that way too.
Mhm.
Um, and then it's quite aggravating when you go through prayer ministry and you don't, you still have the pain the pain, and
Yes.
it's not very nice.
Yes.
But yeah, I sent, Maureen this short, and it was so cute. It was a grandma, and I don't know if it was her son or her
Her
grandson.
her grandson.
Is it her grandson? Okay, because I didn't
Mhm.
get to watch much more of the channel after that.
Mhm.
And, yeah, she's like he's like, Grandma, they wanna quit." "What?" And she just kinda steps in, she's like, "You wanna quit? No, no, no." And it was a very I'll put the link below this live so you guys can see it. Um, and when you're an encourager like Maureen is, Maureen's a great encourager. I'm so
Mm.
grateful for her. But what happens is often that encouragement doesn't come back at you, because Maureen and I we're both Christians, and it's usually the opposite is the devil works overtime to tear encouragers down because he knows that God works through multiplication, and
Mhm.
that encourager is not just encouraging one person, they're encouraging multiple, and then it multiplies if those people go and,
Right.
share it too.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, yeah, I think and I try to be encouraging. I think I've lost a lot of that over the last 10 years. I think that's the trauma that needs to be released from my
Yeah,
body.
I would say I would disagree with you. I think you're a real big encourager for people.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
when you're talking with someone, I think you do cheer them on and, in an like, you're authentic and you're not just, um like, you see the good in people,
Hey, Clifford.
first. So that's,
I try. I try to.
mhm. No, I
But if
think
you're
you do.
They really tick me off. I don't know. God help them. No. I think it's this age thing. It's just,
Yeah, yeah,
what is it?
yeah.
You're doing something right if the devil is on the attack. Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah. Yep.
mhm.
True. So
Or
true.
sometimes even if you're not doing something right, I think sometimes when you're just kinda coasting along and,
Mm.
and you think, "Hey, everything's going fine," and then it's like, out comes a cane and it's like, "Trip."
Right?
Gotta go.
Yeah.
Ouch, that hurt my knees. What? Why am I down on the ground? What
Yeah.
was that? What did I do?
Yep. Yep. I
So
know that really tripped me up with this, yeah, wait a minute, cyclical anyway. Yeah, that's true. We do go through there's nothing new under the sun. So it just yeah, it definitely seems to come back around, and we learn lessons and we don't, and then it comes back around, so we might learn it.
mhm,
Yep,
mhm. Sometimes I
totally.
do say, I okay, I don't know what I was supposed to learn, but I
Aw,
honestly I did learn.
moon. Too
I know, I was just gonna say, "Moon
That's
over
funny.
Miami, what do you mean?" That,
Yeah, you're the greatest moon ever, moon.
she
Yeah.
always tells you that you're the greatest. That's what she tells
Oh,
me.
thanks,
Come
girl. How are
on.
you? Good to
Come
see you.
on.
Good to see you in the side chat again.
Yes, glad
That's
that you
so
got your
nice.
power cord back. Mama's got
Yes.
power, so mama can actually function.
Yep. Corn-fed life, it's good to see you come in too. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. But yeah, I found that a lot of people who had that gift of encouragement had so much stress, like when, we would talk at church and things like that, and it was like, "Yeah, that's because 'cause you're the one encouraging everybody else, and if you're knocked down, then it might possibly knock down more people."
Mm,
Um, and, like, I even wrote to this grandma that I don't know, it was the first time I ever saw the account, and I was like, "Thank you so much." How rarely have I heard that? Like, never, and I'm
mhm,
53, and there's so many people who do go through that, like, they go through their whole lives, and they never have somebody get in their face and say, "Don't quit, you're doing okay."
mhm,
There's
mhm.
a break around the corner,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know? There's a break
yeah.
around the corner.
My problem with me, though, is
Nicole
when
Reeves, welcome in.
people
Yeah, go
will
ahead.
say, "Oh, that's so great. You're so great at da 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 da." My first knee-jerk reaction is always to take it down. And,
Yeah.
like I won't just say, "Thank you." I'm trying to do that instead, like, "Oh," they'll go, "Oh, your dress is so beautiful." And it's like, "Oh, yeah, you know what? I just got this at Walmart. It was like $5." Like,
Yeah, I
you go,
do that. I do
"Why are
that.
you downplaying it? Why can't you just receive that compliment and say thank you?" You
Yeah.
know? It's like,
Yep.
"Oh, this old thing, oh, I've had it for, 30 years, and, it's like a piece of
I
crap." And,
I
like,
I
"No,
had a
no, someone
girl
just
tell
try to
me that.
compliment me,
Yeah.
compliment you."
I had a girl tell me that because I had gotten these, like, cubic zirconia earrings, so they were, like, really blingy 'cause that's one thing that I just love. I'm like a bird. If it shines,
Mhm.
I'm like, "Ooh."
Squirrel.
If it's pretty, ooh.
Mhm.
Um, and I had these cubic zirconias, and somebody said that, like, "Oh, I really like your earrings." First thing out of my mouth was like, "Oh, they're just cubic zirconias. They were only like 19 da 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 da." And, my girlfriend's like, "You didn't have to tell him that. You coulda just said thank you." And I'm like, that thought didn't even occur to me."
Mm-mm.
It was more like
Mhm.
yeah, it's very that's part of encouragement, though. That's actually in my little tiny outline that, ChatGPT helped me make, um, outline about encouragement is being able
Yes.
to accept it is part of it.
Yes. Yes, I think that is a hard thing, yeah. Sea Storm says the same
Yeah,
thing, and it's just like, and
yeah.
I have been consciously lately when, especially,
Mhm.
like, with my kids, because that's who I talk to most, and they'll say, "Oh, that was really, good job, mom," and I'm blah, 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 and so then I've stopped myself and I just go, "Thank you." It's
Mhm.
like, "Hey, Maureen, it's
Yep.
okay for you to accept a
Yeah.
compliment. I'm not sure why the rules don't
Mm.
apply to me, why they only apply to others," right?
Because of yes, the
Yes.
imposter syndrome is real. Yep. Us
Mhm.
to see ourselves the way others yes. Well, and also sometimes people see us and it's like, Yeah, that's not really what was going on. Like
No,
like, I've
you have
talked
no
about that,
idea.
but yeah, like, I talked about that before where I used to have all my books and be walking around high school with all my books, and my friends were like, "Oh, we thought you were just, like, really smart." And I'm like, "Yeah, so smart that I couldn't get into my locker, and that's why you always saw me with my books because I could never remember the combination." I'd, like, remember it and forget it, and then I'd be stuck with the books and be, like, out whatever book was still stuck in there. So, yeah, that was
Mhm. Just
absolutely
carried them all. No.
brilliant.
You go, "No, I'm not a bookworm." Mm-mm. Mm.
Yeah, he makes trouble no matter what. He just does it quietly in the background and pops out when he's needed, gardening warrior. So,
Yeah. Yeah, so
yes.
back to the imposter syndrome, it's like
Yeah,
it's hard for us to see ourselves and, because people
yeah,
say, "Oh my gosh, you're so busy. You do so much, Maureen, la
yeah.
la la." And I stop and I go, "Okay, now if I took inventory of what
Mhm.
my life was this week, you would have seen me sitting in my bed a lot." And so that's what people don't see. Like, especially when you're making these videos, they're seeing you run from here to here to here to here.
True, Miss Kim, you don't wanna play those earrings down, that's true. I
Mhm.
gotta get over
And
to your channel. Yeah, that's true.
so then I just I find that so when people compliment me, "Oh, you're just so busy." And it's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I don't know. I think if you saw, how
Mm,
often I actually get dressed,
yeah.
I get dressed to film or I get dressed to go to
Mhm.
the grocery store,
Right.
that's the
Uh,
extent or church, I do
yeah.
dress when I go to church."
I do PJ outfits, so in
Mm.
case I can yeah, most days because now I'm getting up early to take Hannah to work, so what I put on I take my shower at night, and what I put on at night is my outfit usually the next day. I just throw a bra on and, sometimes I'll change my shirt or anything if I, felt any sweaty or anything, but usually it's what I go to bed in that can translate into out in the car, but now that it's summer, that's changed, I have to
Mhm.
wear much cooler stuff 'cause
Yeah.
some of my PJs
Yeah,
would
so
kill me.
Gardening Warrior says, "My Ellie is listening and asked, why is it not good for us to tell them where we got things?" And it's nothing wrong with telling them. I guess it's the way we're telling them. Like
Mhm.
if I was to say, "Oh, this dress came
Yep,
from um, Melanie Lynn," like that's
yeah,
one of a high end store here, uh, you know, then it seems. But even if when I bought things from Melanie Lynn,
yeah,
it's like I get it on like sale, 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 sale. You go, I get like
right,
a $300 gown for performing for fifty
yeah,
dollars, and I'll throw that out there. Not just
yeah.
like you're wearing a $300 gown. Just say
Yay!
thank you. I
Welcome
got it
to
from
the
Melanie
stage,
Lynn.
storms, radios, and cats. Barry, our friend Barry. Yeah, I have trouble with that too. Like, if I get something that is
We'll say, "Oh,
expensive
we got it
mhm,
down we, got it at the dollar store." Like, we have to downplay it instead of like, "No, I got this great find. It's a beautiful item," or, "It's a great
mhm,
tool that I got,"
yeah,
and the bonus was, "Yes, I got it at the dollar store." But it's the receiving the compliment. It's the fact that we want to put out that compliment instead of, letting it encourage our hearts,
yeah, yeah, true.
right?
Oh, goodness. You well, you're a busy lady. That goes with the territory. You're a very
Yes, she
busy
is.
lady.
I
Say,
I have
you
done
sound go ahead. I was gonna say she could
I
join
have
us.
done a couple of times where I'm getting ready for a gig and makeup's all on, gowns on, and all my stuff is packed already into the car, and I'm just gonna step out. And I step out and I realize I'm in my bare feet. I have not put shoes on. And it's only
Yep,
because you go, "Oh, that's cold. I have no shoes. You are going to your gig with no shoes."
yep, yep.
So,
That's true. I did that, but I did it because my shoes were actually the same shoe, but I had them in brown and I had them in black, and I just had to commit to wearing them like that
mhm,
for
mhm.
the day. Actually, I
Yep,
think I looked down after first period and realized it under the fluorescent lights because I was in such a rush to get to my class. How are you,
yep,
Mr. Barry? And yes, stay. I love all your comments. You were more than welcome to join the panel if you ever want to. And yes, I am a pajama mom.
absolutely. I've
Yep.
told my kids, "When you bury me, do not go and put me in some dress." I said, "Put me in pajamas," because I know if,
Mhm.
like if you're having the body to be viewed,
Yeah.
they dunk it. The body gets really cold. And so when
Mm,
I had felt my aunt who was really cold, I thought, I want you to guys to put me in comfy jammies and a
comfy
comforter.
jammies. I love
Comfy
that.
jammies and comforter. Don't put me in some little, straight little dress.
Oh, you're too DC. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, make me look cozy.
Something
Uh,
warm and flannel.
Exactly. Yeah.
hey, thanks. Thanks for coming in.
Mm. Yeah, I've also done that too for a gig. It was a busy day where it was like I think I
True.
think this one it was like we had dance lessons. Then I had this afternoon, you had to go sing for jazz vespers. And then later on I had an evening gig. And so I had, three outfits, three, whatever. And I thought,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wear my black boots. So grab my black boots and did the dance lessons and whatever. Then went to the gig, put the boots on. I'm walking around, because I had about 20 minutes. I'm walking around. And not
Yeah.
until I walk across the stage that's wood that I hear
Yeah.
clunk, nothing, clunk, nothing, clunk. There was a different heel. Like for 20 minutes, I've been walking around. There was nothing in me that was going, do you notice that you are
You're off.
walking like this,
Yeah,
Maureen?
you're off balance.
And so then, of course,
Hey,
as I get
baby
up
bear,
there, it's
welcome
like
in.
I'm telling myself, you don't need to tell people. You don't need to tell people
Yeah.
that you're wearing two
Yeah.
different boots, Maureen.
Yeah.
What
Right.
do? I go, all the women will understand this, but it was a busy day today, and I am wearing two different boots.
Litra.
One has a hard heel, one has a
Yeah.
soft heel, and
Right.
you just go with it. Just stay committed.
Yes. Yeah, I get what can you do? Like, at that point, you're there, and yeah, that's how I felt too when I was at school. I'm there, and I can't go home and change. "Hey,
Mm-mm,
Gigi, you
mhm.
here? Good to see you." But Barry, did you have anything to share about, like, dealing? Because you said somebody was saying it's a female thing, but you said right away you deal with the same thing where you push back the compliment or the encouragement.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always had that problem. Like I hear the words and it sounds great,
Mhm.
it feels great, but it's like, yeah, I don't know, okay, whatever. They kind of shrug it off, and um, so I've always done that. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but it's
Uh,
like you don't like if you talk about your channel. I don't stop and think. Well, I
that's
just
right.
created content,
Yeah.
and I might have put a little effort into it more than I usually would. So why can't I take a compliment? And it's like I keep shrugging it off. Well, I don't know what
Mm,
that's about. But
Yeah.
mm. Do you feel like you don't deserve it?
I think
Especially when
sometimes
you
that's
put some extra effort into it, right?
yeah.
yeah,
So
"Hey,
why do you
KP,
feel
you
like
know,
you're
come
not
in."
deserving? That would be my
Yeah. I think
oh,
we all hold ourselves to, like, a higher standard, like Brenda was saying,
yeah,
and we do.
yeah.
We give and also, like Stay Hall was saying, we give more grace to others than we give to
Oh,
ourselves.
absolutely.
Like, we
Yeah,
really do.
and I gauge my work sometimes to other channels that might be in
Oh,
my niche, and I'm kind of like
yeah.
they're up here, and I'm like I feel like I'm here,
Mm,
but I would
yeah,
like to be as far as production goes. I like to be even.
yeah.
Mhm,
I know.
mhm.
That is hard because, like, especially on YouTube is we have professionals that we are looking at. Like, we have those of us who
They have
are learning
teams.
everything, yeah, and that was one thing I was looking at too, is all these people, like the guy who started McDonald's as far as, who bought it from the McDonald's brothers, he franchised that after his 50s. He bought it and franchised it out, and really, he was I think it was a shake, machine salesman and
Mhm,
basically not a very successful person until in his 50s.
mhm.
And
Wow.
there are other people like that, just like, the painter
Walt Disney's?
grandma yeah, Walt Disney, Grandma Moses, the painter, she didn't paint until she was in her 60s. She was a homesteader, farm
Yeah,
wife, raising a family, and she is
uh-huh.
a very well-known folk art painter. Like, her stuff, one of them, I think it was over $1,000,000 just sold. It
Wow.
was, maple sugaring, like a painting about maple sugaring,
Yeah,
and you
and
Wow.
look it's just unbelievable, like, there are stories like that, and we
Colonel Sanders.
yep, and Colonel Sanders, yep, absolutely.
Who's the woman that, she does all the well, she does now she's got, you know, towels and things like that.
Vera
But
Wang? Are you
no,
thinking
no,
of Vera
she
Wang?
was a cook. She was a model first in her life,
Martha
and then
Stewart.
Martha Stewart. A
Yeah,
lot of
Martha
these
Stewart
people,
has
it's
reinvented
in the
herself multiple
yep,
times, yeah.
they're in their 50s, and it's like
Yeah.
She was a model.
Right. Yeah, she originally started as a model,
as a model.
then a stockbroker. Then she wrote the book on entertaining. I think it was
I
after
just
she
don't see it.
trained. I know. I
You
know.
know, you
But
can
she's
do a
a
lot
pretty
of great makeup on
yeah,
people,
she's
and
very
they can
tall. She's
yeah,
very tall, and that
yeah.
helped back then. That
But
was
I also don't see the Snoop Dogg Martha thing.
I know, I
No,
don't get that
Doesn't.
either.
but everything is marketing, right? It's all
Yes,
marketing.
it is all
I
marketing,
mean,
and
I don't
she
know. They might be
understood
into each
that,
other.
I
I don't
think.
know.
Yeah, she understood
Mhm.
that. But yeah, she wrote that book on entertaining, and then suddenly she's getting a show, and suddenly she is a name that she can sell her own name to all these,
Mhm.
like her brand, I should say. She became a brand. She was one of those first ones that became a brand that we
Mhm.
watched it happen kind of before our eyes, and
Mhm.
I had really never seen that before. That was the same thing with hold on, watching Fixer Upper. And I remember watching it and thinking, "Oh, I really like that." And looking up Fixer Upper and looking up some of the products, and they already had it set up that they had a store, and those were their things. Genius. I mean, genius.
Mhm.
I think they were in their 30s and 40s, but still very, like, wow. Now to where
Mhm.
it went from, she was selling things in her house is what she said while she was raising the kids, to it's huge. Magnolia is huge now.
Right,
Magnolia
right.
Home. That is why we have to respect our journey, enjoy every season instead of compare. Yes, comparing to others is a really hard one because I don't know about anybody else. I was raised to like my parents would use others to make me behave.
Mm.
Like they would, oh, well, what do you think so and so would think of you acting that way?
Mm. So
And
manipulative, so wrong.
yeah, yeah, but when you grow up like that and
Yeah.
you tend to look to others,
Mhm.
and then it's very really, yeah, it's toxic. It's a very toxic,
Yeah.
cycle to break.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally agree with you, Stay, with pretty much everything you said tonight. Thank you for adding that. And yes, maple sugar, yum. Maple sugar ice cream, The
Mhm.
Founder. It's a good film. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's on Netflix, I believe, but
About which one that we were talking about?
That's the McDonald's one.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to
Mhm.
look that up. I don't have Netflix, though. I'll have to wait for it to come to something
Freddy's
else.
Restaurants franchise was started by a dude in his 80s. Wow.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, they talked about somebody else, I don't know if he was English or if he was from here, but he was an author, and he didn't write his first book that was successful until he was in his 90s. And then he wrote a
Wow.
few more, and they published the last one after he passed, but they were all pretty successful. Same thing with Laura Ingalls Wilder, who,
Mm, mhm,
they had a whole show for 10 years based off of Little House on the Prairie, the books that she wrote. I
mhm.
think she didn't write those until she was 60 or past 50 when she
Hmm.
started that series.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's definitely always do-overs, and I think that we forget that. Yeah, Freddie was started girl, so we aren't. That's right. We still have time. That's right.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yep.
We still have time. As long as there's breath, there is hope.
Yeah.
That's what I try to hold on to when I feel like giving
Yeah.
up. It's like, nope, nope, I'm still breathing. There's still hope.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree, Duncan. This is
Mhm,
it's 100% is,
mhm.
getting into
Yep.
the community, finding
Agree.
your little tribe
Mhm.
of
Yeah.
people. It, it's just like we all have the same kind of, um we're on the same journey. Our journeys all
Yeah.
look different, but so there is that acceptance and that encouragement of you go, yes, I want to encourage you to, keep going. And we understand the trials that we're all in the middle of. And so then
Yes.
you're with these like-minded people, rubbing shoulders with them,
Yep.
and
Mhm.
going, yeah, and when someone goes down, you go, okay, come on, get back
Yep.
up. You can
Yep.
do this.
We do that for each other, that's for sure. I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she is hilarious too, and she got started, the stand-up comic, Leah Morgan, she's the blonde, and she's so funny. She's Southern, and she's got, like, hilarious stories that, she's just great at
Mhm.
stand-up comedy, and her stuff is clean, like, it's pretty darn clean, and, for, stand-up comics. I laugh when I've seen her on YouTube. She
Mm. I'll
cracks
have
me
to look
up.
her up.
She's on the clock one too, being looked
Okay.
down on because I'm like, yeah, that's so hard, Duncan, when that precedes you as a child. Say motivational artist, another one. Oh, wow. That's awesome. In her early 50s.
There she is.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll be 50 in a few years, and that's okay. I'm 53, and I'm still working on it. Still working on it. Still waiting on God to see, like, what he really, has for me. Because tonight I was very frustrated. There's one class. I was a teacher for those of you who are coming in and are new to my channel. I was an art teacher and a Florida certified art teacher, and I kept my certificate for 20 years, even though I came home to homeschool my daughter because she was having some difficulties. She was diagnosed with high functioning autism, but it was really called PDD-NOS. And it's pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified, because she wasn't talking and she had some of the sensory issues that you do see with autistic children. You can't tell at all now at her age. She's just a little bit. She comes off as a little bit quiet or shy. But once you get to know her, she's got a great personality. Her speech, you can't tell that she had problem with speech. But I homeschooled her until she was 16, so I only taught in classrooms for about 9 years. Well, when I went to renew at that 20-year mark of holding on to that certificate, I was going up for my dad's memorial that summer when I usually take my 6-hour credit hours, and they changed the requirements, and
Mm.
you had to have this one specific class, and of all things, it was teaching to ESE, which are exceptional students. I was like, "Are you kidding? I just clept this? I've been doing it for like 16 years now." Just about like what is going on? Over 16 at that time. So I lost my license because of that. And
Mm.
now looking for the same class, I'm having trouble. I can't find this
Mm.
one specific class that's required. And I'm like, how can they do that to these teachers?
Mm.
It's crazy. Gotten better at accepting insults. Oh, yes, we get better at that too. Yeah.
Yeah, we brush
Accepting
them off.
compliments. Yes.
That's right.
Accepting.
Oh, wow, you must not have much time. You must be in your
No.
mama's basement you're
Yeah.
47 in your mama's basement making
Yeah.
little comments to people because you have nothing better to do.
That's true too, Brenda. That's right. They do. Was listening,
That's good.
not looking at the chat, but I put seeds in soil, but I haven't bought more. Good job, GT. I know that is hard for you. He hasn't bought any more seeds, but one packet. Of course, he'll tell us later that one packet is like one of those big old bulk packages
Yeah.
Of multiples.
of multiples. Hey, Angel's Crafty. Hello, welcome in.
Hey, Angel.
Good to
I'm gonna
see
run
you.
and go put my all my chickens to bed. It could take a few minutes
Okay.
because the babies still have not figured out how to get into the coop, or like they know how to get in, but they're like the big ladies are in there and they're gonna not. They don't like us. They think we're stinky, and so
Oh,
it's a big hullabaloo.
Oh, well, you
yeah.
pat Dottie for me.
It's
When
like
I
the
Well,
see
it's
storms.
like the boomers against Gen Z. Is that
yeah,
kinda what's
yeah.
going on?
Yeah, but there again, there's Dottie, she doesn't go
Oh,
pecking at them. She's just, fine. It's
yeah.
the other it's the ones that are on the lower rungs. They're
Mm,
making sure that these babies know that, hey, I'm above you. So I will be right back.
okay.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, Duncan, I depend well, I know I don't come off as shy on here, but it depends on who I'm talking to. Like, if it's somebody that I consider that it's almost like what Maureen was saying, like, is that because you feel a certain way about yourself? If I feel like somebody is elevated above me in social status or in some other way, I kind of clam up a bit, and have a hard
Um,
and have a hard
I'm
time.
complete opposite. That doesn't even phase me. I still see them. I see them as successful, but I also see them as, you're just another human being, just like me.
Yeah,
We all have
yeah.
the same goals. You
I'm
just might have
learning.
reached yours before I did, but you're still. Yeah.
I was right about GT.
Yeah, I was reading that. That's why I was giggling.
How funny. Oh my gosh. We are brother and sister in some other universe. I really think so. That's so funny. That's okay. It's a start. Exactly. Gardening warrior. It's a start. You restrained. But yeah, I mean, that's the only time I kind of become a bit shy, or, where I don't like, if it's something where I want my child to step forward and, talk more, because I always had to talk on her behalf when she was little. Yeah, Miss Kim. I think it was you who was I think it was you in the side chat who was saying, like, not to let others bother you, and um basically, like, I think it was you. I'm not sure who was saying it. They're like, what you eat, they're not pooping out, and vice versa. Like, it's like, you're not connected. You don't have to worry about it. Just do your thing. And I thought that was so funny. It is funny. Many boisterous people clam up in front of a kid. Yeah, right? And then the opposite, it's the ones that are very shy and realize sometimes, like Jess from Roots and Refuge has talked about that. Like when they would have gatherings at the house, she's often in another room, like when there's a lot of people. And I can be either. I'm like when they show those shorts, the extroverted introvert, I can be like that. It depends. And I think that's because I have a processing thing too. Like I have sensory things going on too. Because autism basically is just an extreme of things that we all have.
Yeah,
They just have extremes of them. Clam up when they
we
have.
run it 100%. They run it.
Oh,
100%.
look at that saying. That's a keeper. Many people clam up when they have a pearl inside them.
That's
I
good.
love that. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was you. For some reason, I was thinking it was you in the side chat. I think it was in Miss T's that I mentioned it.
I've met like maybe 2 or 3 what I would consider famous
Oh,
people over the years, like
yeah.
Jerry Springer. I met him long before he had his own talk show.
Oh, when he was in
I can't
politics
believe
before that, right?
yeah, he was
Yeah.
doing it for the local TV station in
Mm,
Cincinnati.
mm.
That's where he got to start from. And he said, "I can't
Oh.
believe how comfortable you are talking to me." And I said,
Mhm.
"You put your pants." I used somebody else's quote, but I said, "You put your pants on the same way I do."
Yeah. I
You know,
remember, like, when I was doing extra work, and the one person that was easy to talk to was Glenn Fry from the Eagles. He was so
you
down to
know,
earth.
they say that about him. He's an amateur radio operator too.
Yeah, he was. He's
So
no longer with
yeah,
us, but yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah, exactly. I know that, but he was the same way there too.
yeah.
Very
Just so
approachable.
so down to earth, and, Don Johnson never came out of his trailer to
Yeah.
talk
Well,
to any of the kids,
right.
and that was
See,
the one I was the most nervous about meeting, and somebody's like, "He poops too, like, he goes to the bathroom too, Carol. He's a person," and I'm
yeah,
like, "Okay, that visual just totally knocked him off the pedestal that I had him on, thank you."
yeah.
But yeah, that's true, Baby Bear Shorts, like, yeah, I bet they are. State of being put on the spot. So true.
Mhm. I had kind of the similar situation with Eddie Montgomery. His brother John Michael Montgomery was in the limo behind him, and the radio station I worked for, we were interviewing Eddie Montgomery. That was when
Cool.
Montgomery Gentry came out,
Mhm. Wow.
and they're from Kentucky.
Mhm.
So
Right.
immediately after I figured out who the heck we were we were interviewing, because for some
Yeah.
reason you were keeping it a secret from me, and I'm like, well, I'm with my coworker, and
Right.
nobody's telling me who the heck we're interviewing. So we talked, we did the interview, then afterwards he just like hung around. He said, I got nothing else to do. You guys want to shoot the breeze or whatever? And we're like,
Aw,
yeah, okay. Like
absolutely, yeah.
technically we should have went back back to the
Whoops.
studio.
Yeah.
But he was so down to earth, and
Mhm.
one of his comments, my coworker goes, so is John Michael here? He goes, yeah, he's in a limo, but he's such an a-hole he can't be bothered to come out. I thought, oh my God, he said that about his own kin.
Whoops. Hey, Tuck 5E, welcome in. I don't know if he's in yours or she is in yours or Marine's,
I see a link on
but
my
welcome in.
side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Welcome in.
welcome in. But yeah, I like that classic dad joke though. I've got to remember that. That's part of my discomfort too, is my memory has never been great. So like when I was doing extra work and I would see these famous people, like I would recognize them, but I wouldn't remember their name or what movie I saw them in. Where other people would just be able to rattle that off. Like even I love going into the Big Roosters show. I don't remember any music like artists hardly at all like you do. Like I just don't. Their names didn't stick. But if you ask me about like designers and stuff in the 80s and different trends and things like that, like I might have known that. And I don't know, my brain just locks on to different stuff. And I've never been good at those like trivia games. Sometimes I could do Jeopardy, but I think that's what would make me clam up or get shy is I just didn't. It's like, I know you're famous, but I don't remember your name and I can't remember the movie I saw you in that was really good. Because I remember I was on when Burt Reynolds had, I think it was BL Stryker was the TV show. He had an actor there that had been in a movie, and I still, to this day, I can't remember his name. I was standing right next to him, and I was like, "I really love that movie that you were in with," and I was like, it was with Dennis Quaid, I think, was in the movie with him. Can't remember the name of the movie today either, but I'm standing right next to him at FEU and talking to him, and I think that's what was that interaction just made me feel so, like, inadequate that I didn't yeah, like, I clammed up.
Hello, Shannon Barrett. Welcome in.
Yeah, welcome in, Shannon Barrett. A few times I've met famous people, I just want to tell them how impressed I am with their gifting and then ask them what exactly, like, what was their journey like and how did they get there? I'm with all the stuff coming out, though, about P. Diddy and Usher and everything, I don't know if I wanna know anymore.
I think the only one that I had a little bit of trouble with, and I wouldn't say that she's famous on a national level.
Right? Certain days, I feel that way too, Brenda.
Oh
Who
yeah.
else?
Was
Okay.
one of the weather people. Now she's adorable, and that was the problem. I was like, I'm married, I gotta be good, and
Mm.
then I was like, I wanted to ask a question. It was a valid question. Well, I couldn't even get the words out. It was like I was a high schooler trying
I
to ask
love that
a hot girl
commercial.
out on a date. It was like,
Yeah. Yep. I was like that
and
with a lot of people, but it wasn't like a crush, it was just that's how my brain wouldn't function and wouldn't it's actually a
I,
form of aphasia, which I found out later, and I didn't know I had that.
it wasn't
Aw.
so much. I don't think it was a crush. It was
Aw.
more of I don't want to
You're
come off
just
as a
yeah,
fanboy.
you don't want a
Because,
fanboy, yeah, or
it,
fangirl. I get that. I
so
totally
what I did is to smooth it out, I ended up talking to the
yes.
male. Can't remember his name now. To the male weather, the meteorologist for WMY, YMT, whatever.
Mhm.
And so that kind of evened it out. It kind of made it a little easier to talk to both of them.
Mhm.
They were both
Yeah,
standing there.
within a group, yeah, that
Yeah.
that was always easier if there
And
was
it
a
was
group.
better. And
Mhm.
to this day, I still, every once in a while I'll get on
Mm.
X, at the
Mhm.
time it's Twitter, and I'll say, hey, how's it going, Allison? Or whoever it was. And,
Oh, neat. That's so cool. Yeah, like, we were in a circle around Glenn Fry, and he was just sitting there, talking to us like he wasn't famous at all. Like,
Yeah.
he wasn't in the Eagles or any major band at all. He was just a regular guy asking for a cerveza, which, at that time, I didn't even know that meant beer. It's like, cerveza,
They-
por favor, from the catering department.
oh
That's
yeah.
the one thing from that commercial because it was the Pepsi commercial with Don Johnson and Glenn Fry back in, I guess, the 80s. Yeah,
Yeah.
and,
Oh my
the
God, I
ca
remember that.
the catering was amazing. I got paid great money. Then it was back in the days of the VCR, went through frame by frame by frame, and I ended up, not in it. Like, maybe
Oh,
my hand was in there somewhere, but nope, I was on the
not
cutting room
cool.
floor. I know, I was like, "Oh, not there."
They didn't have Bob's Florida Hottie on there. That's
I
wrong.
know, it's not right. If they'd seen either Quaid brothers, I'd be elated. Oh, yeah. That would yeah. Yeah, that voice. It's so weird to see too some of them get older and it's like, "Oh, no, if he looks like that or she looks like that, who I used to watch on TV or in the movies, like,
Yeah.
that's that what do I look like to other people who knew me when I was young?" I know that commercial is so good with LL Cool J, Corn-Fed Life. It's like I always try to get a selfie when I run into LL Cool J at the deli.
Yeah.
The smoldering chemistry between I know, right? They do have some smoldering chemistry. I don't know what it is about those
Yeah, you
2.
could see it clearly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. She did. That's true. They might, yeah. He might have some more respect for her because of that, and
Yeah.
she might be like, "Yeah, I get you. I get you." Mhm. Although I've heard, like, the place she was in was more like, country club. But, oh, to get
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, the Ritz, like for you know.
Yeah, the Ritz for criminals. Like, they could come and go as they please. It was
Welcome
very
back, Diva.
welcome back, yeah. But to go back to encouragement, the also there's nonverbal encouragement. Like, are you that type of person? Are you, smiling at people and, giving them that nod of approval? Some people don't like to be touched, so, like, there's pats on the back, but you have to be aware of, if they want that kind of contact. But, even talking about how body language can support that and just showing enthusiasm towards a person. Like, it comes off really flat, like, Diva gave me that nice compliment that, you know, I'm authentic with the encouragement, and, like, you can tell when people are just kinda not.
Mhm.
Like, I remember those encouragements from my parents, like, "Oh, yeah, no, you could do it. You're just not as smart as that, sister."
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, it was like,
And it's right
um,
there with the Southern
yeah,
saying, "Bless your little heart."
bless your little
Mm.
heart.
That's an insult.
I
Yeah,
know.
my mom has always been my biggest cheerleader,
Yeah.
but, to a fault that it's like, it just killed a man, ma, and I shouldn't say that on here, and she'd go, "You know what? He probably wasn't
Mhm.
a good person, so it was probably okay." Like, she wouldn't she would still defend me if I did
That's
something
right.
bad. It would
Yeah.
be still like,
I'm
"Oh, maybe,"
yeah.
she would
I
say,
think
"No, I
from my
wouldn't do
mom,
that."
it was unintentional. Like, she
Mhm.
didn't know any better with certain
Yeah.
things. She didn't realize she was giving, like, a backhanded compliment or a compliment and a diss in the same sentence.
Mhm. Well, it's probably how she was raised,
Exactly.
They do the
Exactly.
same thing as the same thing, so,
Yeah.
uh,
Your
you know
mom's just that's so cute, though. Oh, it's probably
he was probably not a good person, so, that's not bad, you broke both his legs? Oh, okay.
He
He
probably
probably
didn't
just
like walking that much
but
anyway. It's
anyway,
alright.
she would find something good.
It's cute.
"You don't deserve
But
to go to jail." Mm-mm.
yeah. But, yeah, I
Mhm.
understand what you mean because I remember having somebody in my life who was very Pollyanna to the point where it was like though they weren't hearing you. They were just like the bright side of things. Like, well, it could have been da da da, and it was always like coming back at you with like almost as if it was buffeting the negative completely. Like there is no negative, and it's like, are you hearing me? Like, I am sick. My kids are sick. One's in the hospital. Like, could you just go okay? And no, they couldn't. They like the empathy, I think that's what it is. It's like the empathy is not there along with the encouragement. When the
Right.
person lacks empathy and the words just come out
Yeah,
that
they
are
just feel like they need to say some, and
something.
sometimes, like, especially when, you yourself, would understand, it's like when you have lost a loved one, um, it's not, you do like the acknowledgement, but it's like, but I don't need you to give me a bunch of advice. I just need you to sit with me and just to go,
Mhm.
I'm sorry. I, I, that's a hard thing, or like, especially if you lost a parent, you go, I've never lost a parent, or if you've
Yeah.
lost a child. Like, I did
Yeah.
have one woman say, she said to me
Mm.
at one of my gigs, she goes, oh, you and I have so much in common because I lost my daughter when she was 25. And I just
Mhm.
looked at her and I went, oh, no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no. We are not on equal playing fields. Losing
Yeah.
a husband as opposed to losing a child. I go, I don't know how you're standing.
Yeah.
That's not supposed to happen ever,
Right.
that you bury your child.
Right.
That was one where it was like, don't you even, I'm nowhere at the level of
Mm.
what your
Okay.
grief is,
That reminds me, I actually need to share that from today. It's hold on, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I've got it. We need to pray for this family. This is the one that
Oh,
I
that
found
you were
out about
mentioning.
today. Yeah, that I was telling you about. The little boy was killed. Him and his mom were trapped under a tree in a tornado. Uh, and she watched her little boy die in front of
Oh,
her.
No,
Lord.
no,
But
no.
he wasn't thankfully alone though. Like he had his mother with him, but horrible, horrible situation.
Oh, wow.
Thankfully, like the article talks about, there was $300,000 raised, but she's still in the hospital, so we need to pray for this family. Let me go back to the article so I can. He was 3 years old. His name was Cooper Drake. His mother's name is Corinne or Corrine,
Corinne,
Cornne. Corrine.
Corinne.
Okay. And she also has a baby that's only 2 weeks old. So, yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find it. It was an EF1 tornado.
Oh, sweet
Uh,
Jesus.
yeah. And it was in Michigan. But I'm trying to think. Brutal Bob came in and told us he knew them personally, and this little boy used to wave to him and his wife. So
Wow.
keep Brutal Bob too in your prayers, and his wife, because she was healing. She was healing up from an accident herself, the wife, Brutal Bob's wife, and then this happened, and their house is damaged. But he's like, everything can be replaced, but that child cannot be replaced. And so yeah. I'm not seeing, I don't know if Drake is their last name. Are you seeing a last name at all? Um, Livonia kids. I'm trying to find
Mm,
their name.
mm,
Anyway, God knows. He knows
mhm,
for the
mhm,
family in Michigan. That's just
mhm,
heartbreaking, heart-wrenching. And those are the things where it's like you can have like you said, a loving and empathetic heart, but it's like really encouraging words for that situation.
mm,
Mm-mm.
mm.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm trying to move out because it's gotten so expensive, but
Oh, where are you going to move to that is not so
exactly.
expensive?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good luck with that, my dear.
Yeah, well,
It's like,
here's the problem. There it is less expensive as you go further up in Florida. However, they don't build the houses the same, and the same darn hurricanes hit the whole state. So I'd rather be in my bunker home down in southern Florida than be up in a stick house or hardy back
yeah,
aboard.
yeah.
Ah, yeah,
Mobile home.
Yeah, or a mobile home. Even though they have tie downs and everything now for the mobile homes and they make them a lot more secure. Yeah, no. After seeing the damage all those years ago in my 20s that Hurricane Andrew did to Miami and flattened everything.
Oh, mine's tied down, but I've still
Yeah.
felt I've actually felt it shake
Mm.
from straight line winds. So no,
Mm.
it is an
Mm,
added bonus to have it tied down, but it's
yeah.
depends. Like my house is east to west, so
Yeah. I didn't mean to bring everybody down, but I just wanted to keep that family in prayer.
No, it's important. It's important
Yeah.
that, and it's like in those kinds of circumstances, you go, okay,
Yeah.
whatever I'm dealing with, this is nothing. You can just put your
Yeah.
big girl panties on, Maureen, and just shut up and
Yeah.
say a prayer for that mama, because that's a
Yeah.
heart-wrenching thing.
Super heart-wrenching. And, like, too, it's so sad, but uh, that is part of encouraging ourselves sometimes is looking at our cross is not that. That's not my cross to bear, and that cross is very heavy. I would not
Yeah.
want to have that cross to bear. Yeah, Guardian Warrior, I was wondering how they did their insurances up there. But we can talk about that later. Compared to down here, the homeowners is crazy and they make us do all kinds of things. And then I see these homes that don't look hurricane safe according to the Miami-Dade code. So I wondered how the insurance is up there, the homeowners, because ours is crazy and I don't want to go back into more crazy and not have have to fix that house up to code. I want to move upstate and build my own tiny home. I like that idea. Yeah. I would like steel reinforced. Ours is supposedly supposed to be steel reinforced concrete block. But one of the inspectors had some kind of machine and he was like, "Oh no, you don't have rebar." And I'm like, how's the house standing? Like, we've got to have rebar in some of these corners because the house is still standing.
Mm-hmm.
I was a youngster in the 80s of my life.
I must have used something like
Mhm.
LiDAR.
And the Miami Hurricanes. Yeah, that's my husband's team, even though he never went there. It was a family thing. They always rooted for the Miami Hurricanes because a lot of the players on the Dolphins were pulled from the Miami Hurricanes. So go figure. I went to FAU. We don't really, and so did his daughter. We don't root for their team. Sometimes we'll, root for FSU.
Hey, CC.
Yeah, I couldn't either. Yeah. I know,
Yeah.
Duncan. That just,
Yeah. Brenda's story is
especially.
is
Oh, good
amazing.
night. You were thank you, in the bushes for a little bit. Thank you. Appreciate you, CC.
I don't know about any other states, but Kentucky seems to have a lot of in-ground homes.
Yeah.
And when I say that, it's basically a basement
Mm-hmm.
or it's built into a hillside. And I think that's but
I think those are really cool. And they
yeah.
also take, like for the summer, at least they have that thermal cooling from the
Mhm.
hillside. Yeah, I think those are cool. Yeah, I've lived in a home like that too with the solid concrete walls. We lived in a Pulte townhouse that had those, and it was like a bunker too. It was that house was great, and you didn't really hear the neighbors unless they started really blasting their music, which we had, of course, one of those. But you usually heard it from the front or the back of the house where your windows were. Oh, hey. Let's see. I'd have to ask, but I know it's like 5 times more tied down and other things. They were preppers. Oh, okay.
Mm.
That's nice. That's good that they got a home that was prepared like that before they even got into it.
Hey,
No
Shawnee.
way. How cool. That sounds like
We're out
fun,
camping at a
Shawnee.
van. What's a van event?
They fix up vans and they go to these events where other people like fix up
Oh.
Yeah.
vans and, kind of like how people go to car shows, except for it's like a van show.
Ah.
Yeah.
She just wants to
Oh,
go
probably
home.
want your own bed. I totally understand that.
Uh,
Oh, you live in North Al okay. And Tornado Valley. No, yeah, see, those scare me more. Those scare me more.
mm.
But Where's also, who has a great variety of bourbon?
Kentucky.
Oh, duh.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Aid. I do, but
Mhm.
I can't drink it. It hurts my kidneys.
Yeah, I can't
Mm.
drink it
And
anymore.
can't have any caramel colored booze.
Oh, I said hello to you earlier. Hey, Tuck, is it Tuck by V? I think. I hope I'm saying it right. So it's all vanners, people that restore vans, events like bags and cribbage, light shows, cruises, music. Oh,
Mm.
what is cribbage? Oh, the game?
Hmm.
Mhm.
Oh, cool. It sounds like fun, but I totally understand the wanting to be in your bed. Like sometimes I wish I could do my live right from my bed, but I have people asleep in there right now. So
No, it wouldn't work, yeah.
yeah, it kind of wouldn't work.
I've joined
I,
people's lives from my bed. I have been
yes.
in it was like, here I am.
Okay. Yeah, I've never played cribbage. I've played
Hmm.
spades before when I was in college, but I've never played cribbage. Spades was fun.
And knowing this crowd, the conversation could go south if you were streaming from your bedroom.
True.
No kidding.
Yeah. So
Yes, that's very true. That is very true. The late night crowd can, yeah, definitely. Let's see. The reason like I did this on encouragement is I have a little summary here that, somebody helped me write quick. He wrote it really quick for me, or she, because it's Chat GPT. Don't judge me.
I'm not.
Encouragement is crucial because it serves as a powerful motivator, boosting confidence and resilience in individuals. It provides validation for efforts and accomplishments, reinforcing positive behaviors and fostering a supportive environment. Encouragement can enhance productivity, creativity, and overall well being by promoting a sense of worth and belonging in both personal and professional settings. It strengthens relationships, builds trust, and cultivates a culture of positivity and growth. Ultimately, encouragement empowers individuals to overcome challenges, pursue their goals, and reach their full potential. And I could not like that was just perfect. So I didn't need to really switch it up. Plus, I didn't have time. I just let him write it. Um, but yeah, I noticed the difference with people that I'm around who are more encouraging in what I accomplish. Yeah, all soon enough. I hope you get that. Hey, Hugo, welcome in. Hey, the best life. What's up? How you liking your new digs? I still got to get over to your channel and see what's. Did you put anything
Just
on your channel, the best life, about it? Because you said you hadn't yet. I think the last time we talked.
yeah, it's that thing where you go, "Oh, I gotta get to that channel. I gotta get to that channel."
I
And
have a whole I have a whole bunch of little red arrows up here on the top of my, but then we end so late. By the way,
Uh-huh.
Coach Megan, thank you for coming in. Oh, you're listening from your bed with 3 little puppies. Lucky you, but also not lucky if they're really young because 'cause you're not sleeping well.
Yeah.
I grew up
Mm.
cheating at cribbage, never knew we were cheating until I was an adult, and my grandfather had taught us to play cribbage, not the correct way. Oopsies.
I'm gonna
Oopsies.
enter a cribbage tournament. You're a cheat. You can't enter this.
You cheat when you play, you're not allowed. Oh, you're welcome. I hope it helps somebody. Plus, like what we're saying, what we deal with on here, like it's both there's positive and negative.
Yes.
And sometimes too, just what we go through in our real non-YouTube lives. It's like,
Yes.
do I really need YouTube on top of this week? Nope, I don't. I do not.
Yep.
Don't.
Yep.
Nope. I don't think I can do that. Don't think I
Yeah,
can
and
even do a side chat and
yeah,
no.
but there is the encouragement, like,
Mhm.
when, especially when you're trying to hit milestones, you've got this
Yeah.
community of people who go, "We'll step up, we'll come and
Yeah.
watch videos, or we'll find subscribers, or
Mhm.
we want to help you move forward."
Yes.
And, so there is the real positive, but yes, there are times where
Yeah.
it's like, I think, oh, do I really want to make another video of me going, just do people really want to listen to me?
Or me
And
or me on super fast speed doing some gardening. Do I really how much of that do I need to put in? Well, then I don't tell the whole story. Shouldn't I put it? I don't know. Like, making those
yeah.
decisions is hard. That's yeah,
Mhm.
I agree.
That
That's fair.
is what makes the past 2 or 3 videos that I've popped up
Oh my
nice
gosh,
is I didn't have to do any narration or anything. I just
Yes.
let the scenery speak
That's
for
awesome.
itself. Yeah.
Exactly, Barry.
I'll
Yeah.
have to get over there, the Best Life, to see it. It was funny how you and Uga came in at the same time. I've known you guys probably for just about as long, well, a little bit longer, I think, than Barry, because the Best Life and I met. We used to go to another late night, and Ron's no longer here. Dangerous Freedom was the
Mm.
live, and we were in there late at night, and it was a mixed crowd, but yeah, I miss him. Ron was like one of those people who he was like encouraging. He was funny. And yeah, everybody just kind of felt welcome. So you had a big
Mm.
mixed crowd of people, not one genre. Other than, a lot of them were conservatives.
Mhm.
But other than that, no, it's pretty much a mixed bag of tricks in there.
Mhm.
But yeah, that I find that when I am around encouraging people, I get more done. When I am not, it affects me deeper than I realize, and it shuts me down
Yeah.
more. Like, I get
Yeah.
less done. And sometimes
Yeah.
that negative person can be, "Mwah," can be the stinking
Mhm.
thinking, like, Stay was saying, Stay Hall. It's like, yeah, that stinking thinking, I know all about that, her.
Mhm.
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 Yeah, we're our own worst critic, aren't we?
Right?
Yes, very much
So
so.
so true. Like, just like what
Sometimes you gotta
Eva
tell
was saying,
yourself to shut up. Yeah.
what was that, Barry?
Sometimes you just gotta tell yourself to shut up. you, you know,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
need your negativity. Just shut up.
Right?
Yeah. Just be
Right?
quiet. Simmer down. So you're
Right. Yeah. I saw this short today, and it was, this is a little off topic. It was a toy that suddenly came on and started it was the kid's toy, came on at, like, 2:30 AM. The mother's sitting out on the couch, and this toy in the bathroom comes on and starts just playing its song or doing whatever. Nobody turned it on, and she couldn't get it to turn off. And so she was removing the batteries, and, of course, that's where the short ends, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, well, my son had this bear that you could press little things on it, and it would sing." And I was cleaning the house before bed, and the bear was over across the room, and I bent down behind the couch, and the bear suddenly says, "I see you." I said, "And you can shut up in Jesus' name," and I threw it out in the garbage. I was just like, no, no." Speaking
Mm-mm.
of speaking of
None
shutting
of
up
my watch. None
that's
of my
right.
watch.
None of my watch.
Mm-mm.
Speaking of, shutting down negativity and scary voices, yeah,
Mhm.
I do too. I do
Remember the
too.
Furbies?
Right. Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
that we're gonna spy on everybody in the government too.
Yeah, they were
Now we have
creepy.
cell phones that do.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Yeah, those are just like, what in the world? And the thing is some of his toys were hand-me-down, so yeah, I pray over stuff now
Mm.
like that. Yeah. Even clothes, like, I buy clothes sometimes secondhand, and it was the pastor's wife who made me, like, aware of that. Like, pray over them before you bring them home.
Mm.
Hmm.
I was like,
Teddy
"I never thought
Ruxpin. I
about that."
haven't
What?
heard Teddy Ruxpin in years.
I know, me either. No, it wasn't a Teddy Ruxpin. It was just a toy that it would count and sing songs, and you just press little parts of, like, its little hands or its feet for the songs to change. And, yeah, I don't remember it saying, "Can see you," as part of its songs at all.
Mhm.
Yeah, right. "Andy's coming."
Mhm.
Furby. Yeah, that was wild. I totally remember that. But yeah, I think some of the encouragement, like we give it out so easily, but we rarely give it so easily to ourselves in those moments. And I like what Barry said. Like, you need to shut up in there. Like, shut up.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
I tell myself that a lot.
Mm.
oh my gosh.
Don't always listen. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. That is. It's hard. It's definitely hard. Well, sometimes too, like, um, your brain is just going so fast. It's hard to catch what it's saying to you, but you
Right.
just feel yuck. Like you feel the yuck. Fairly certain
Mhm.
these
I
choices.
had, oh,
Yeah. Well, those ones that you guys have. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely gardening where you're. Yeah. What was that? You have
um, I totally lost my little train of thought there. What were we saying just before this comment? Not this
about
comment.
this. Our brain.
Oh, the
Sometimes you can't catch what your brain is actually saying. You
right.
just feel the yuck. You just.
This is the weird thing is that I can have all these kind of things that are making me spiral, and then as soon as I speak it out loud, I realize how asinine and stupid it is, but in my
Mhm.
head, it totally made sense. Like
Right.
whatever the negativity is, it's like, "Oh, yeah, mhm, and that's, and that and that and that," and then when you start
Mhm.
saying it out loud, you go, "Wait a minute, that doesn't even make
Mhm.
sense." No, in my
Mm.
brain, it totally made sense.
It totally made
Um,
sense. Totally made sense to make me feel bad about myself and yeah,
mhm,
made me feel like, yeah. Mm, yeah. Oh, yeah, I have that. I don't have OCD of action, I have OCD of the brain where my brain does that. Other it doesn't get just stuck on a song, it gets stuck on, relational stuff, like, "Oh, yeah,
mm,
uh-huh," and, like, I replay things, or
yeah,
even, like, when I was younger and you would be young and you would, like, verbally fight with somebody, and, "Oh, I should have said this, and I
said
should have
this.
said that," and I would have been like, you just keep thinking about it like it's gonna
Would've
change, like
won.
it's over.
Mhm,
Yeah, I would have won the argument if I said.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
I know you are, but what am I? Some sort of smart ass comment. No, not that one. Yeah.
Welcome in, Gear. Good
Hey,
to have
Gear.
you in.
One of my difficulties too throughout my life is, there'll be some sort of goal, and I
Mhm.
need to reach that goal.
Right.
And part of me, as soon as I'm just about ready to reach it, I'll actually, take my fingers and flick the bar and go, see, you just can never reach the goal.
Mm,
And then if I do reach the goal, most of the time I never stop to actually
appreciate it.
acknowledge and
Uh-huh.
appreciate and actually have
Mhm.
that part of me
Yeah.
where I'm proud of reaching the goal. I just go, okay, yeah,
Mhm.
you got the goal. That's awesome. All right. Tell my kids, hey, I got the goal. They go, congratulations, mom. That's great. And I go, yeah, okay. And then I'm running to the next
On.
thing.
Yeah, on to the
It's
next
like,
thing.
why
I
can't
that's
you just sit here and
Mhm.
acknowledge what you've achieved, you know?
Yeah. That's actually when Hugo mentioning ADHD, that is a common thread with people who not that you have it, but with people who have ADHD is they never can enjoy their accomplishments because
Mhm.
everything is a task for them. Taking a
Yeah.
shower is a task, going to bed is a task, doing the dishes, it's all tasks, task oriented. This was a task. Like we have a hard time enjoying the journey. We just want to get it
Mm,
done because it's another big task for us, and once the task is over, it's like more of a relief, like I got through it, not like, "Yay,
mhm.
I got through it. Look at what I did." No, it's like, "Okay, what's the next thing I gotta go do?"
Right,
It's just
right.
hard work,
Yeah, mine I think
really
mine
hard.
stems from, you bring home a bunch of A's, and B's, and on your report card and a C plus,
Mm,
and the only thing that is pointed out is why is there a C plus there? But it's like, well, how about we acknowledge, the 3 A's and the B plus that I also got, not just the C plus, in one class. How about let's look at those things. So,
yeah, you always look at that,
what
yeah.
is LFT, MP, MFP?
I don't know. Flip a myth to piff this is that
Lift
Oh,
Oh,
live for
live
the
for the
moment,
moment,
forget the
forget the
past.
past, forget the future.
Mm. Yeah, staying in the moment is really difficult for me. I have to say that, but that's all we have. That's why it's called the present. I know that's so
Present.
cheesy, but
Uh-uh.
yeah, it's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you got
gas.
gas?
I know. Was that gas? Really, when I talk to myself, I'm calling myself.
Which
Yes.
is really bad to do because that's
Yes.
if you're even
Not
if you say it out
good.
loud, you're saying you're
Yeah.
an idiot. Well, guess what you're hearing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And words have power. And then all of a sudden you're like, why am I acting like an idiot? Well, because you called yourself an idiot, Maureen. What do you
Hey,
think?
sweet thumb. Good to see you.
Hey, sweet thumb. And thank you, sweet thumb, for I think you went through my entire catalog on my channel. It was like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
he
what do
told me
you
I needed a bigger list so he could help me out. I was like,
Yeah, I
"What?
just
Okay,
really
but I
appreciate
got it."
that because
Sweet.
was I think it was June June 2nd that I hit the first tier. So thank you, sweet thumb. And for those
Oh,
others of you that have been, running some of my playlists and that, I do really appreciate that you guys have all helped me get to that next level. Now I'm already looking at
yeah.
the next one. Moving
I
on.
know, right? Not celebrating that I got here too much because, I'm looking at that 4,000 next. Yep. And
Exactly.
then looking
Exactly.
to make money and then, "Oh, I'm not really making that much, so yeah, I gotta get those views up," and yeah, it's like a hamster wheel, like, it just
It is.
doesn't
And
stop till they
I'm not trying to
see
get
it.
monetized, but I got to 400 subs today, and I was like,
Oh,
Yes.
did you? Yay!
Congratulations.
wow,
Congratulations.
when did that happen? So,
Yeah.
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 Oh, I've always had that, but it's worse now, Hugo, I know what you're talking about. I just pause and just look like I can't even think at first even to say that to myself, like
No, because see, I did that when I was in my 20s.
yeah,
I
I
would
did
walk
too.
into a room and I'm like, what? Wait a
Me
minute.
too.
And what worked
Yeah.
for me was to turn around, go back into the room where I originally thought that I need to go
Yeah,
into the other room to get something.
right.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And then go walk back in there again. So I make 2 trips.
Right. If you
Uh,
guys haven't gone over to either of their rooms, their side chats, feel free to visit them. And Diva herself has the Nightbot set up. I don't. And if you do hashtag Diva, it will share your link in her side chat. So if
mhm.
anybody is new and wants to go ahead and do that, I am so sorry I don't have that set up.
I know it's on our list to do, Carol, that
Yes, it's on the
we're gonna
to-do
go
list.
and it's like, let's get on a Facebook chat and let's set up your night bot so
Mhm.
then it
And
just
then we've
runs it
both
for you.
gotten sick and we both have
Ugh.
things going on and
Ugh.
our kidults needing us for one thing or another. Calls the
Mhm.
remember.
Cause it curse. Can't
Yeah.
remember heat. Mhm.
Ah, I didn't even you caught that right away. I totally did not catch it. Sweet thumbs up. That's cool news, Barry. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
To slow down is when I have yeah, I have word finding problems. I've always had that too. And the thing I do and I didn't know is related to ADHD is the swerve that you're walking around thinking. So you're so deep into your brain and your thoughts that you have to actually swerve because you're going to hit something in the house, like a
Mm.
corner or a piece of furniture. You realize it at that last second and you got, woo.
Huh. Sounds like me first thing in the morning.
Yep,
Mm.
it's called the swerve, but I do it, like, quite a bit, or I just walk into a corner.
Oh, no.
I'll hit a corner that's always been there in my house, and it's like, what the
I
what?"
clip the edge of the refrigerator because it's right there the hallway to the restroom.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, right. The fridge.
It's still there. It's been there every single day. Every single time that you go, it's always there. It never moves.
right.
Yep. Oh, right. There it is. Mhm.
There it is, I just
I
hit
wish
it.
it would. I wish it'd move out of my way.
Right? That's like we used to have the bed with the spring mattress, but it had that metal base. Darned if your toe didn't find that one little
Yeah.
metal corner. Oh,
Yep.
even
Yep.
though it's always
Or
been there.
as soon as
Oh
you've
gosh.
injured anything on your foot, it doesn't matter where it is, it could be right
Yeah,
close up to the ankle. You
right.
will continue to hit that spot.
Come over
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's like, how am I hitting that? What? All of a sudden you drop
right.
something, it hits that spot. It's like, How could it always find that spot? It's bizarre.
Exactly. Over and over again. So a sign of impending. Ooh, that's true. I actually saw that happen. There's video of a newscaster that happened to who goes, she almost looked like she was having a stroke, but it was an oncoming migraine.
Hmm.
Yep.
You
And I
know,
had today, right after I was talking about in my library headaches, we
yeah.
had low pressure come
You know,
in
I
right
had
after
an
that.
ocular migraine this morning as soon as I
Oh,
got up.
oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
That
Those are
thing, oh,
terrible.
I honestly, I think I'd rather have a reason to see something in my vision. Like if I did some mushrooms or something. I mean,
Oh, yeah, like it,
no.
yeah,
But
that you
when you first
purposely
wake
did
up,
it.
an ocular migraine, really?
Yeah, I get sinus migraines like
Ugh.
that sometimes where you wake up in them. They're awful.
Mm,
I've
mm.
done that driving down the road, completely forgot where I was going and had to pull over. Oh my, yeah, that is so scary. Yeah. I get so worried when I do things like, well, I haven't thankfully done that um yet. But I
Yeah,
did one time, like leaving church. I remember thinking, like, am I really in the right lane? Like that I'm supposed to be driving in? Like for a second when I was leaving, because it
mm,
has like a serpentine exit. And I was like, am I on the right side of the road here? Like, am I okay? I was so like,
mm,
I was so tired.
mhm.
Oh, hey, Brittle Bob. Good morning. I just shared and asked for prayer for that family, Brittle
Hey,
Bob.
Buddha Bob.
Yeah. Let us know. I'll keep that mama in prayer for sure. And of course, daddy and baby. But yeah, I shared that with the folks so they'll pray for that family and for you guys too. Um, but yeah, I don't know what we were just talking about. See, I do it too.
Oh, driving down
Squirrel.
Oh,
the
driving down that road. Yeah, and it freaked
yeah,
me
and
out when
mhm,
I thought that. I was like, what the heck is wrong with me that I'm thinking this? But
mm.
yeah, we drive on the right side of the road, Carol. We're in America. You're fine. You're
Is it
fine.
is this has it always been this way?
It was just that serpentine would do something to my brain, like,
Mm,
"This
mhm.
right? Am I okay? Am I in the right lane?" I don't know what it was, just about the way it was shaped, maybe, my brain would just go, "Something's weird about
Going the
this."
back and forth, you know.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
I have sometimes where it's just because you go on autopilot when you're driving, and I'll
Yeah.
just go the that one particular route, and it's like, "Oh, I don't need that route right now," but it's just like you're just so, you know, "Do, do, 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 oh."
Rob Painless, you know this is early for us. It's only 1 a.m. on the East Coast.
What
Come
are
on.
we, kids?
That's right.
I don't have a bedtime.
Good to see you,
It's
Rob.
only 10:05 for me,
Good to see you,
Tell
so
Rob.
him,
it's
Gear, it's
still
early
I know.
yet.
It's
it's
early
right.
yet. I take pictures of my shoveling with my phone. I might forget the Yes, I do that now
Mhm,
too. It helps so much, Gear. I do the same thing, and I have if Theron's running to the store, I have him take a picture of the object, or I send him a picture of it, so he has a
mhm.
picture of the item. You know, we do the best we can. It's something about that store. It's just, I don't know. It's a vortex as you're going in. Those lists just somehow get lost between the car and in going in to the
Mhm.
store. "Oh, hi, my Renaissance grandma. Oh,
Yeah,
thank you. You're
she
so
was
good at
doing a
cheering me
live
on."
earlier today too.
I'll have to go and peek at it. I have to watch the replay.
Yeah,
I think
going back
JT
to
did too. Both of them did then. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
going back to driving down the road and then totally forgetting where you're going. Um, Highway 27 runs practically down the middle of Kentucky, and it empties out in Florida.
Yeah.
But there was a section there where they bought up all the property around it so that they could widen the highway and make it a 4 lane. And I got down through there. I totally knew what was going on. It was in the news, it was in the paper. And I got
Mhm.
down there and I saw an overpass and I said, wait a minute. And I'm going, did I make a wrong turn somewhere?
Hmm.
And I totally pulled the car over to the shoulder, stopped to think about it. And my wife at the time said, honey, they just redid the road, remember?
Mm.
Mm.
Oh, so once I got through the overpass,
Yeah. Then it was
Somerset,
more
Kentucky in the
familiar.
distance. And I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
feel so stupid.
No. Your brain just was not, the visual wasn't matching
Yeah,
up for
should have
you.
been a 2-lane, but turned into a
Yeah.
4 and an
Yeah.
overpass, which was not there before.
Mhm.
Brutal Bob, did they put their last name in an article? Because I was looking through that one article, and couldn't find it, but definitely will be praying for her. And, God, I ask you, God, right now in just this moment, yeah, please, Father, she's already lost a child. I pray that the surgical team would be able to save this woman's legs, this mom's legs. She's got another baby to raise. And most of all, too, Lord, that you would spare her life, but also help her with this great loss that she faces once she heals, and
Yes.
help her husband too with everything that is upon him and the grief that he's under too, and help them to be able to communicate with each other well, and
Yes.
for this marriage not to fail, because I know the statistics are higher once a child is lost within a marriage. So we just pray that you would guard them and guide them through this horrible
Mhm.
time,
Mhm.
and pray that in
Mhm.
Jesus' name. Oh my goodness. Ugh,
Mhm.
it's
And
so heavy, so heavy, such a
Mhm.
heavy burden, that poor mama and daddy.
Mhm.
I'm so glad though that they have that little baby, just like my friend did, because it
yeah,
helps them keep going. To have another child helps them to keep breathing. I felt well lately. She went grocery store shopping one day. I made her a list, then remade it for each section. I did that too. I've done that where I put, this is in the frozen section, and I try to
Aw,
keep those things together, to make
aw,
it.
you guys are good people.
Well, I still get phone calls though. Or even with that.
I wish. Yeah, that's something I wouldn't mind having is somebody call me and say, "Hey, did you remember to get?"
Mm.
Because even though I take a list with me, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like I ignore my list.
Mhm.
Yeah, Rob, they are further west than you. And you're like, I think, what, 1 hour behind me, Rob? In Texas, I think you are. I'm not sure. Or
Yeah.
is it two? I think it's one.
Yeah, I am on the wet coast and I'm in British Columbia. But Gardening Warrior, she is in Washington State. So she just
Oh,
crossed that way.
nice gear. Earning brownie points. Okay. I'm gonna take a picture of that. So I don't. They showed Drake for the little boy, but I didn't know if that was his last name or his middle name. Okay. It's hyphenated. Yeah, more 8 isn't here tonight. Must have fed him too much room. He was here earlier. He might have just taken a nap, Rob. He's probably taking a little nap in the background. I used to watch him where he is.
No, kitty. No.
There you go. A few nights ago after work, I missed my turn to come home and ended up. Oh, I've done that with exits off the turnpike before. Because we used to have this, like, if you don't catch the exit, then you're going way far up for the next one.
Right.
I did that, I think,
Yeah.
twice when I was teaching, and it was like, oh, Texas Central Time. Okay, so yeah, 1 hour. I thought I had it right because I know it just confuses me because you guys are so close to California when I look at the map, but
Right.
they're 3 hours. My brother is 3 hours behind me who's in California. So it always confuses me how Texas is just 1 hour. But do you have 2 time zones in Texas because it's so large? Like, do they divide it or no? I'm not really sure. Asking for a friend.
Sure
No,
you
no, it's rum offie. He likes rum offie, and, I think it's rum lemonade sometimes too. I can't drive. I get too anxious and have to. Yeah,
Oh,
that's awful.
Rum,
See, I'm worried
lemonade.
about that for my daughter. I'm worried about that with once she's on the roads. So, yeah, I totally get it. Q.
Yeah, for some reason I cannot in my head I can't
Mhm.
visualize the exit from, like, I've taken people that I know to the airport in Louisville, and then when I come back I take the interstate, and I can't get into my head that I need to get off at the Mount Vernon exit because it's a straight shot from the interstate to where I live now. And I've done that in the past. I've taken people to the airport, and then I'm like on the way back, I'm like, oh, right. I just went right past the Mount Vernon exit. It's like, so I have to go another 2 miles.
Yeah.
It's already a long drive to Louisville.
Right? It's crazy when you're deep in thought.
Yeah.
He's getting some beauty sleep. Typical guy, pals. Getting some beauty sleep, perhaps. Goodness knows he needs it. Watch Aid wake up right now, Robin, and hear that. Oh my goodness. Okay, British Columbia. There you go. There's the answer.
I'm not in a state. I'm in a province.
She's in a province.
I'm in a province.
We're all connected from all over the world.
But I'm in a province.
Yes, it just sounds so much
Yes,
better.
darling.
Yeah, it does.
Province. It's very provincial. It's very provincial is what it is.
Yes. I can't looking at me like, what
is going on? You get to talk through your teeth like they do up in Palm Beach. Yes.
Oh, is that how they talk?
Yeah, that's with their little white outfits and little.
Yes. Okay. Yes, that's very good.
Yes.
I come from a province, not a state. Thank you. Have a good night, all of you.
Oh, is that what he had tonight? Pineapple juice. Yeah, that sounds good. I probably would have drank too much of that too if I could drink. Actually, had a fly rod cube, but turned out I needed some peace. Oh. Yeah, I think once he's out, he's
text him, Rob. Text him.
Wake up, wake up. Yeah, it needs like one of those buzzers or something. The text won't do any good. Sounds like John. Yeah, they do. Right? Aiden, Rob, and John and Robert. Yep, for sure. Absolutely. But yeah. What was that?
Speaking of which.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Where's John? I hope he didn't get put in timeout by anybody.
Yeah, right. I don't see any blow up.
I don't know. I told Robert, I'm like, if you find out from John that he got put in timeout, please just let me know.
I mean, I was in the middle of that. I was kind of encouraging a little bit. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, he was encouraging it too by putting it on you when you said the Kardashians looked bloated, and he comes back with the blow up doll. I'm like, yeah, no, not the same thing. Not the same thing. The morning chat. It's the morning chat. Yeah. He's so funny.
Yeah. Canada, like, we're a big country. I'm on the west coast. I live on Vancouver Island, actually, and just even in my own province here, I think we have almost every type of climate that you can possibly have. Like, so you can go up into the mountains and see all your snow and stuff like that. And then there are parts of the province that it will be just like the desert. You'll see tumbleweeds going by. There's rainforests here, of course. Is there any other sort of climate that is included in that? But we're just like regular people. It looks regular up here. It looks, I live in a colonized British colonized area. So we do have the Empress Hotel, which was where the Queen, whenever she comes, she would stay at the Empress. And so Canada's not that. Yes, exactly. Well, you can go and have high tea there. I think it's about $85 for you to have these little sandwiches and some tea, and you can do the $85 and you'll get one glass of champagne as well with that high tea.
I wonder if it's a good champagne.
Yeah, it's like really whatever.
I don't like champagne, yuck.
Well, you can. So then you would do the $75 one or the $65 one where you just get to eat the sandwiches and drink the tea, and you're there at the Empress. This beautiful building, which is a Fairmont hotel, which I think it's depending on what levels that you purchase it at. It's ridiculously expensive. It can be $1,000 a night, and it's not like it's anything spectacular. Like you'd get
Mhm.
nicer bed, nicer room, just staying at a Super 8. In all honesty,
Wow.
people will go
Wow.
stay there just because it's the Fairmont and it's the Empress, and
It's the
so yeah.
experience, darling, to be able to
Mhm,
talk
yes,
about
yes,
it.
it's just the experience, and then to have to go to the BC's capital and go to the province and have
Yeah,
your little stay at the Empress. It's
yeah.
lovely.
We did
So,
high tea too.
yeah,
It sounded
let's go
just
and have a high
lovely.
tea. I'm gonna have the champagne one, though. Thank you,
Yeah.
darling. Yes. So
Oh,
that's
now
about
it's
all I
up
can
to
say, George.
400.
Like, it's,
Wow.
Canada's just, we're laid back people. Mostly, we always say sorry. We're always gonna like anything. You bumped into me, and I'm sorry that, that I was in
Yeah.
your way. That you would have to bump into me. So that's pretty much. But we don't get the hurricanes, and we don't get tornadoes like what you guys get in the States, and we
Yeah.
don't have a lot of bugs and things that want to try to kill us here. It's also not something we don't have a lot of that. So it's actually a nice country. Not all snow. I live in a real temperate grow zone. But there are places that are up farther north that are terribly cold and disgusting as far as I'm concerned, because I like to live in the south part of the province, just like my friend who lives in South Florida as well.
Yes,
Because
darling.
we both live in the
Oh,
south of where we
yeah.
of her state, my province. So
Yes, very close in our zones, and it's very similar, of course,
of
but
course, of
I
course.
just don't get cold enough to where these darn things will die and all the bugs and all the lizards
That's
that
right.
don't belong. I'd
Yeah,
really like a quick snap freeze for just a couple days to get rid of
just
the
to
things that
kill.
don't belong
That's right,
here.
just to kill
Yes.
the bugs.
Kill the
Yeah,
bugs, kill the
yeah,
lizards in the trees that are coming down and eating my watermelons.
exactly.
Yes, I would love that. You're making me want to. I know,
It's
me
just
too. I
little
want
teeny
I
cup,
want I want little
little teeny
cucumber
cup,
sandwiches with some
little
nice,
sandwiches.
French,
Mhm.
cheese herb spread. Yes, yes. Sounds delicious. I
Mhm.
actually did, when I was doing like a youth leader, when Hannah was in youth, I did a Pura tea, and we talked about
Mm.
purity, the girls did, and, yeah, I did like a little high tea and made tea sandwiches.
Aw.
And, yeah, it was kinda sweet, and I had all the, like, little teacups and stuff for them. I had gotten some from, eBay um, like, I think maybe even Goodwill at the time. I still have some of the teacups. I don't know if I have the little yeah, I have the little teapot, but, yeah, I really tried to make it just sweet for them,
Mhm.
because it's such an awkward thing to talk about.
Mhm.
And of course, all the parents knew we were talking about that. You have to get kind of permission.
Right.
Now, like, goodness, how much things have changed. Just that
Yeah.
was 2009, 2010, maybe? Just in those
What you can
14
what
years?
they want you to share and what they want you to know, and it's like, "Are you kidding? This is
Yeah,
a 5-year-old.
right.
Mm.
Exactly.
Play
So
with
wait,
your
she's
they're playing with GI Joes and Barbies, and,
I know, I
that's
know.
enough." No,
Yeah,
no,
it was
no.
10 years ago. So within 10 years, the stuff that has gone into schools. What I was talking about was so, vanilla, as they
Mhm.
say. Got a mosquito in here that's trying to get me.
Mm.
I know, she's got a great grow zone. I totally agree, and that cold weather really does help with their bugs, so,
Yeah,
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 I am too. Yeah, she's
yeah,
got the best of both worlds, and I
yeah,
live
we
in
are
actually
we're the
tropical.
Hawaii. We're the Hawaii of Canada. So, like, yeah, like, in the picture at the bottom there, that spiky tree, we grow things like that here.
So crazy. They have sable palms.
Uh,
And I always thought of Canada as just, like I've told you, the Quebec at nighttime, that picture of seeing Quebec and snow and moose and, the Canadian Mountie guys, I thought maybe there's igloos somewhere up in the northern part of
mhm.
Canada,
Well, you
but
think I live close to GT.
yeah, of course. That's what I thought all Canada was like. I never realized, you've got this island over here like Hawaii. It's like, I didn't
Uh-huh.
know. Had no
Yeah,
clue.
yeah.
I can't wait. They said Alone is coming back, and usually they put them up, I think, up near you and drop them off, but not on your island. It's on the mainland.
Mm.
Have we all been seeing some of these elementary middle schoolers reading some of the Yeah. Yeah, I don't wanna get into that too much, but yes, it's disgusting.
Indoctrination. Yeah.
Yeah, indoctrination, exactly. Oh, hey! Davgood he's new, and we were actually having a great conversation. He's new to my channel, but
He's new to my channel too.
I met him
Off
in Miss
grid
T's.
trucker.
Welcome in. This is my co-host, Miss Diva, and my other co-host, Barry, Storms, Radios, and Cats. Yeah, see, GT didn't know either. He thought it was all like what he goes through. Like
Oh,
Canada
you
was that way.
thought all Canada was what you were dealing with?
Yeah. That too. I said that. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you had internet, GT knows. I was like, wait, you got internet in Alaska? What? Thought you all were in I thought Alaska, the whole thing was in the Arctic Circle, and then Andrew, North comes in and he's the one in the Arctic Circle.
And he still has internet.
Alaska gets their internet and power from that supposed dark pyramid they have up there.
Yes, possibly. Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness. Some of the stories.
Canada's it's a we're like you guys where we do have we don't have as many people up here, and like when you look at it, if you look at the two, we are just as wide as you guys are, but I think like we're only I don't know how many people we have in Canada, but it's it's like equal to all the people that are in New York State. Something like that. So it's like all those people could have like lots of room and lots of space.
Right.
Something ridiculous like that.
The off-grid trucker put in #Diva over in Diva's chat, and some of us, I'm going to grab the link and we can come over and get your channel. And like I said, any of you
here, I'll just go and grab it here.
Oh, okay.
Thank
you.
Go to channel.
As of 2022, Canada has a total of 38,093 million people.
Oh, look at us grow.
And Unicorn Lady Attack, if you want to do the same thing, if she drops her link, if you go over there, then some of us can just go over and grab your channel also.
Unicorn Lady in yours?
Yeah, she's in mine. But I'm encouraging them to go over and use your Nightbot because I'm,
Oh, to put it in there.
The Nightbot doesn't like me.
Yeah, it doesn't like me either.
Like me. It's so funny
too.
Well, no, for the longest time, somehow I hid, or Nightbot hid itself from me, and I wouldn't be able to see it when I would go in people's chats. It was terrible. Couldn't figure it out. Finally, I did. I really appreciate you coming through after you drive in. The gift from Alaska, no returns. Yep, sent the moose right over to you. You get to have the murder horses. Now. They are gorgeous creatures, I think. They're so neat looking, but yeah, no, I wouldn't want to meet up with one when they're in rut. That's for sure. They're humongous. And every time I went to Vermont, I kept hoping I would see one in a field somewhere. Never did. Never, not one of my visits did I get to see one. And was in some like rural places. I was really surprised. I was very glad though I didn't get to see a bear. That was one thing that I was very scared of. Was encountering a bear. Oh, thanks, Unicorn Lady. But yeah, I wanted to get if you go into Divas and put #Diva, we can grab your link. That's why it was.
I think that showed up. I think I got it.
Okay.
Yep, I did.
Yeah, you got it. Oh, awesome. Okay, you've got his link. There's the.
I went and put it into yours.
Thank you. You did good.
So, is there any farming going on up there? Are you meaning in Canada? Do we farm? Oh.
Yes.
Right. Yes. In the middle provinces, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and oh geez, why just
I think it's because of Sparkle Socks and the crackdown.
That is all that basically once you leave, so I'm British Columbia, then there's Alberta, then there is the next one. And basically, once you leave Alberta, you can put your car on just cruise control, and you just drive straight, and you just see the same thing over and over and over. Even in Alberta, you can just
Mm.
drive straight for hours and hours and hours, and you're just like, I'm sure I just saw that barn. Nope, I'm sure I just saw that barn. I'm sure I just saw that
A
barn.
lot of repeats.
So yes, there's a lot of farming. We do produce a lot of food here, BC grown or Canadian grown. But yes, there is lots of farming up here.
So
So
it's like the old movies when they had the scenery on a loop. It was like made out of canvas, and they just kept rolling it. The car wasn't even a
exactly.
real car; it was just the shell of a car.
Exactly. Pretty much
Oh my
when you're
gosh.
going through like what we call our prairie provinces, those
Mhm.
three, it's just you just straight driving. There's no, like when my husband moved to BC, he said I feel claustrophobic because there's mountains and hills. Like there it's just flat, land. But in BC,
Mm.
like in one of our climates, like where it is like the desert, uh it's in the Kelowna area, Kelowna, Vernon, and Kamloops. We do we do a lot of stone fruits, and actually, they just made a big announcement that there isn't going to be
Mhm.
any stone fruits this year.
Oh,
So you're not going
no.
to get to have your peaches,
Oh,
but
no.
you would have massive orchards of apples, fruits in that kind of Kelowna area because it does have a hotter, drier climate there.
Mm.
Yeah. So that is one place where we've thought about, moving to, it's right on the lake. And, you feel like, to me, I feel like, yeah, am I on vacation all the time?
Right.
Because you just live at the lake, right? So, uh,
I'm
anyway.
grabbing Unicorn Lady. So,
Well, I don't know, Diva. It might feel like a resort, but like I know people that own part of a man-made lake down here, which you only own. What's your boat ramp
Right.
touch? The water, and they live on Lake Cumberland, and after they pay their taxes,
Hmm.
it's not so great.
And they got to
And
go to work.
yeah.
and spring break is horrible.
Mm,
According to
mm,
them, it's just people out of state coming in, and they have no respect. And
yeah. Well,
you know,
we are a touristy place
Yeah.
here as well.
Mhm.
I don't feel
Yeah.
like I'm on vacation all the time myself, so I guess
Yeah.
just
No.
when I go visit those places, I would just feel like I was on vacation. It's summer all the time.
That's why people move here and then they realize, no, it's just regular life once you move here.
And freaking hot.
And it's very hot and you don't get to the beach as often as you think you would.
Yeah. It is beautiful in Canada. It honestly is. There is a
Awesome.
couple of books. Oh,
You have the
nice.
Florida King. I was wondering, they have Florida Prince and Florida King. Yeah, I would curious. I know Glenn likes his. I forget which one he has, but he's
I
got
thought it
one of
was the
those.
Florida King too.
Mhm.
When Glenn was in, I think that's what he said.
It might have been. It might have been that or the Florida Prince. It's like, really? Could you not just separate their names a little bit more?
Do I want the prince or the king?
I
But
know.
they have these two books, and it was Vancouver against the world, and
Yeah.
it's like or Vancouver Island. So on the island here, there is so many different things that you can go and see. Like you can travel, um, or just even in BC here too. It's like when I was traveling in Switzerland, and we went to Lucerne, and they said, "Oh, you can go up to see the what are those? What's the big rocks in that they have there? The Matterhorn. You want to go up with them? Do you want to play, $80, 80 euros per person to go up the Matterhorn? And it might be too cloudy that you won't be able to see anything. And as we were
Mm.
driving in, I went, oh, this is like the Rocky Mountains. I grew up 2 hours away from the Rocky Mountains. It was no big deal to go and see these. So when you look at British Columbia in itself as on its own, or even just Vancouver Island here, you know, they'll show a picture of a port, and then they'll show the picture of Vancouver Island port, and it's just beautiful. The colors as you're boating in, sailing in, and that, and different waterfalls that we have here, and so it is a really beautiful, picturesque. The Vancouver Island itself is like basically on a rock, so they do have to do a lot of jackhammering to put in houses and stuff like that. But again, on the island here, there's lots of full-on farms that provide food to the grocery stores and things like that here. So, when you visited Vancouver and Windsor, Ontario, I visited Vancouver and Windsor, Ontario. It's like to visit Toronto, Quebec in the near future. Oh, you'd like to visit Toronto and Quebec. Very nice. Yeah, Quebec is so anything in Quebec that you're looking at more old, and same within Toronto, like in Ontario, it's kind of where life began before they moved across the prairies and forged other areas throughout the country. So, when I visited my sister in Detroit in '97, we drove in an underground tunnel to Canada to a casino. I had fun. It was pretty cool. I would like to visit Canada, get to know more about it. Yeah, it's a pretty cool country, and super super diverse, and to get from one end to the other, it is a long trek, and but what you get to see is it's absolutely spectacular as you're flying over the Rocky Mountains and then over the prairies and stuff like that. It's beautiful. Yeah, so yes, I am on an island, so I have to ferry off to get to Vancouver, and also I can ferry into Seattle. So usually in October, we go down for Crab Fest in Port Angeles. We'll go in and sail down there for the day, go eat crab, and then come home. So yes, for you, the off-grid trucker, for you to come into Canada, you would need to have a passport to come in. But once you're in, okay, good night, Rob. Thanks for coming in.
Good night, Rob.
Hi,
But yeah,
Rob.
once you get across, then it's just like you're in the States. It's not like you have to show your passport from province to province. It's just when you cross into Canada. Sparkle Socks wants to make sure that you don't have any criminal records from the past. Oh, you got your babies. Such a babies. It's the next generation.
Yeah. She wants to sleep on my laptop, and I'm no.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had an underground tunnel up there. We do
Mm,
the one when we would go see my parents, we would do one in Maryland.
yeah,
my
I don't know
my
what that
daughter
one is. I know there is an underground tunnel like in Vancouver, like when you're crossing over, you do have to they cross you under the water
Yeah.
to get into
Mhm.
Vancouver proper.
Appreciate you, Rob Painless. Thank you for coming in. I was chewing on some macadamia nuts. I got this little small bit at the Sprouts store.
That sounds so
Yeah.
good.
I haven't had them in a little while because I can only eat certain nuts. I know you can't eat any at all, right?
No,
Peanut.
but they're not nuts. They're
Yeah, they're a
legumes.
legume.
But no, I do eat pistachios.
That's so
Oh,
weird.
It
How is that
is
so
possible?
good.
don't know, but if I start feeling a little bit off, I just say, no, you're not allergic to pistachios. You're going to keep eating these. You like pistachios. So you just shut up and eat the pistachios. You're not getting sick.
Oh, nice.
So.
Unicorn. I think I've got you up there. I'm going to try and sub and hit your shorts because now our be friends. We have to use stupid words because of YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's AI.
Friend?
Yeah, like friend or follow or even follow. I've heard they're hitting people with. Also, they know.
Chase me on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I'm single, sort of
I'm
single.
gonna come over. I'm gonna come over and stalk your channel a little bit, and
You're not allowed to. So why aren't you allowed to say those things? What will they do?
I think they just watch your channel a little bit more. Somebody was actually in my live this morning, and I had been saying my short this morning was at 11,000 when I first looked. It had gone up to 11,000 views. By the time I looked in the afternoon again, it was down to 9,000. And I'm just like, I'm so tired of YouTube math. And somebody came in and said they've had the same thing happen to them because they won't play the game,
Yep.
And
Oh.
yeah, and what I had discovered when I was finding that number, that that promote button that YouTube has,
Yeah.
they would like you to pay them $200 for them to show your video to maybe 200 or 400 people. So we're not allowed to, go on these websites and buy subscribers for less than that. But you can pay YouTube and they will put your video out and you might get 2 people like out of, or
Yeah,
1 maybe.
yeah. Well, that's the one thing where, when I watch these, how to build your channel, or,
Yeah.
just different, you can learn some good techniques and stuff, but they always go, oh, don't think of it as an algorithm. The algorithm doesn't like me. Call it your audience. And it's like, I'm going to call bull poo on that
Yeah,
right now,
no, bull
Mhm.
poo.
because
It's them.
I was making 5-minute videos because I figured I like only 5-minute videos. Other people probably only want to watch 5 minutes of me going hing, hing, hing. And so then here's these 5-minute videos. And then there was this one day I'm like, oh, I made a video, the one with my parents in it. And this one is 18 minutes long. And I'm like, oh my gosh, people are just going to they're not even going to watch. Put it out there. The views on that jumped all up high, high, high. Why? Why would you say it would? Not the 5-minute video. Well, what can happen in the 5-minute? One commercial. 18 minutes. You can get 3 in there. So what do you think my audience is wanting? They want that 18, they want the 3 commercials. They want to watch those 3 commercials. So it's like bull poop on you guys. That's not the truth. And I'd love to be on one of those channels to actually say that's not the truth, because I just watched the difference between these 2 videos within a week, and this one shot way up on views. Why? Because they were making more money, because they get all the commercial money, right? So they're making more money on my 18-minute video as opposed to my 5. They're not pushing my 5-minute video. Don't tell me that. That's not the truth.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my rant.
No, it's totally them. And now, seeing, and I know they've had it for a while, the promote thing. Of course, every time I go to chat, it goes right to the back of my throat.
Yeah. So George, he says, I'm also into nature, like rivers, creeks, forests, etc., hunting, fishing, and I'm a laid back country boy. Yeah, up in Canada, you can go and get a hunting license. You can go and shoot the murder horses and feed your family for 2 years off that moose, or deer, like depending on what you draw and stuff like that. And of course, you can fish, and of course, and off of the island here, because we're on the ocean, like I'm on the Pacific Ocean. All around me, that you can go and do ocean fishing as well. So you can go get big stuff here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Vancouver Island is a really nice place to live because it is more laid back. When I'm in Vancouver driving around, there is this kind of anxiousness and there's just a lot of traffic and it's just go, go, go. As soon as I go on the ferry, as soon as I cross over, soon as and I'm off the ferry, it's like you can just go, you can feel it. Even when I fly in, if I fly into Vancouver, it's like everybody's like buzzing, buzzing, buzzing. You fly into Victoria here on Vancouver Island, then you just go, they are more laid back here as well.
Yeah.
Nice place. And lots of diversity, a lot of hippies, a lot of people who live off grid, like off the.
Oh, really? Oh,
Oh,
I thought
yeah,
it was
yeah.
like just mostly $1,000,000 properties on the island. I didn't know there was
Mm-mm.
off-grid folks too.
There's a guy that there's several people up there that have channels, but there's one Van City Life, I think.
Oh,
He
okay.
lives out of a van they converted, and it's you get to see the beauty of Canada through his
Right.
camera,
Pretty
and
much.
I'm just blown away.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it is a good country. I haven't lived in all the provinces, haven't visited all the provinces myself. Um, some are more affluent than others. We look at Canada. Ontario thinks it's its own, the murder horse. That sounds delicious. Can we get some murder horse? I'd like to order 2 murder
Sounds
horses.
delicious.
It sounds so delicious. We should have murder horse. Yes. Um, but it's like Ontario is a big province, and so uh, the country is kind of divided. It's like Ontario is, hi, we're Canada, and the rest of you are whatever. So
Yeah.
anything like when you're doing awards and things like that, it's like the bigger population, they come out of Ontario, and then Quebec itself has been for years trying to separate and be their own country. We will separate. Viva Quebec! Viva Quebec! We don't want to be a part of
They
you.
already are in their minds.
Exactly.
And it's apparent even when they come down here, like, oh, no,
Mhm.
we're from Quebec. Like, no,
Yeah.
we're from
No,
Quebec.
and they don't like if they do speak English, if you are in certain cities in Quebec,
Mhm.
they won't speak English to you. They go, no, we only speak
Mhm.
French here. They will like you're a store. It'll go, no,
And
no voulez-vous parler français?
I had heard that, I guess, when there was, I don't know if it was when the French came to Quebec or opposite, and the French were like, no, please don't speak our language. Well, and it kind of goes both ways. I think it's just kind of a
Yeah,
French mindset.
yeah.
No, we are better than you. We. That's why we say
Mhm.
we.
Yeah. And just about every product, oh, this one does
I'm
not. I
sorry.
don't know where I got it from. Every product always has French and English on it. So when I am in the States and I go and where's it? Oh, there's no French. Oh, there's some Spanish on
Mhm.
some things, but
Yeah.
not on everything. So
Yes, he is, Duncan. He is. Mhm.
I grew up
yes, he is.
listening
Yeah,
to
Yep.
go ahead.
I grew up listening to CKLW out of Quebec, and because it was interesting, they were at the time they came into Cleveland really loud, so like you couldn't miss them,
Mhm.
and they played all the whatever's on the top 40.
Yeah. We do get some earthquakes, not deeper into Canada. I know here on the island because like we're just we're just above the California, right? And so there are times where there can be earthquakes here. Not any like where you go, oh my gosh, it just devastated the entire city. We don't have those. We do have fires. We do get like fires up the wazoo. Um, and sometimes in very interesting places that you just like, how on earth could that entire city burn down? Do you think it might have had a bit of help? Well, I'm just saying. I'm not nothing. I don't know. I don't know why Quebec is like that. I think it's because they're French.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things like when you meet a person they just that are like they're English speaking, but they grew up in Quebec and that. And as you're talking in this conversation with these people, and you can pick them out, and you can go, "Oh, they're acting like that because they're French, right?" So I get them now.
Yeah.
That's why it was like a joke, basically. Like when the French met the people from Quebec, they
Yeah,
basically
you're like,
treated them like how Quebec treats Canadians.
yes.
Mhm. Yeah, it's yeah, because of that, pretty much. But I have to go back up to this. Yes, YouTube is treating us kind of like, yeah, they want us to buy their concession stand stuff, and
Yeah.
yes. But I saw the funniest short. It was, they took a bowl and made his date basically pregnant, and they put in all their snacks, including canned drinks, in a bowl, flipped it on her belly, and then taped it around her, and she put her shirt down, and they went into the movies.
Wow.
When she tipped it open, it was just like this huge bowl of like all those box candies. Like it would have cost them probably $100 with what they
Right.
brought in. I was
Yeah.
like, I never thought of that to do that when I
I
was
hope
younger.
she put all that back on because they're going to be like, wait, wasn't
Yeah,
she pregnant when before the movie?
right.
Mhm.
Well, she did. She had the bowl, so she could go back and the bathroom and secure it if they had the tape in the
Right.
bowl too. But yeah, it was crazy
Oh,
idea, but it was hilarious.
Yeah, my dad's family is from Mississippi as well. So we have a whole little plot of earth down there with a road that says Washington on it. So I have
cool.
my own family street. And all
Mhm.
my family members they didn't attend the church that's at the end of the road, but they're all buried in there. And that was a
Mhm.
cool experience. My very first time to
Yeah.
Mississippi to go, and it was the closest I'd ever been to my grandmother.
Oh,
Is
wow.
standing there at her grave. It was like that's the because I think
Mhm.
she visited Canada just before I was born, and so
Aw.
I never had an
Mhm.
opportunity to meet her.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so it was neat
I
to
Yeah,
meet
my
her
mom
there.
lost her dad at 4, so I never got to meet my grandfather. I always wondered what he was like. He was very handsome, is all I know, just from the pictures.
Mhm.
Um, his brother it's Uncle Harry, who we had, was always so sweet, and then they said, like, the other brother, oh gosh, I can't even think of my uncle's name right now, my great uncle, but it was like one was a hellraiser, one was a saint, and my grandfather was right in the middle, like,
Right.
as far as the 3 boys growing up.
Mhm.
That's so funny. I read that too, because he was pronouncing it like he had a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
They got offended.
Yeah, when we were there, we were trying to get into a cab, and they
Mm,
thought like we showed them where our hotel was, and they were thinking it was a closer one, so we weren't going to
mm,
be a fare worth taking, right? And
yeah.
anyway, one day I'll have to tell the whole story because it was the moment where it was like, I think this is where we die. I'm pretty sure this is where we die. And I'm thinking I've got only my daughter with me, and I'm
Oh,
thinking,
no.
okay, I don't have that much money, but I could give them the money. But it's like,
Wow.
take me, but let her live because she's young and I'm okay with being done now. But when
Wow.
we were in the underground train trying to find where to find the cabs, I walked up to a person who was like
Mhm.
security person. I said, "Do you speak English?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Okay, what we're trying to do is we're trying to find da 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 da." She proceeds to respond to me in complete French.
I hate that.
And you
They
go,
do
"Well,
that.
part of do you speak English? Then I'm
Yeah,
expecting you to speak English to me."
exactly.
Still didn't understand anything that she said.
Oh,
So,
horrible. Well, that was
yeah.
like what we've talked about, like, when I would go to Miami, I would get that experience. They would go into full on Spanish, and it's kind of the same, like,
And
like, I
so
took
fast.
Spanish, it's super fast that I'm
Mhm.
like, "Okay, I'm still lost, and now I have Spanish directions that I have no idea what you just told me. Thank you. Even though I heard you say words in English because I gave you my money and you said a few words, but when I asked you for directions, suddenly it's gotta all be in Spanish and you smile at me.
Mhm.
"Mm, thinking
Yeah,
that's intentional. I'm just thinking it might be,"
yeah.
and I was actually learning Spanish and dating a Cuban at the time, so I have nothing against Spanish people, and they might have just had only a few words that they said in
Mm.
English, but it did seem intentional at that moment because I was so lost, and after that, I was so nervous, that's when I got that ticket flying off that road
Oh my.
in my
Yeah.
boyfriend's car. I had his
Mhm.
car, and state trooper pulled me over, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to ticket you because you were going about 70 miles an hour exiting the road," and I'm like, like, "I'm so sorry," and I started crying, I was so anxious. He's like, "Yeah, well, you also have that bottle on the floor," and I'm like, "Where the heck did that come from?" There was an open bottle on the floor. I'm like, "I promise you that it was not from me. I have not been drinking. I'm just not from Miami, and I don't speak Spanish." So he was gracious. He could have given me a much worse ticket. He could have taken
Mhm.
me to jail for how fast I was exiting, actually. I was so far over the speed limit.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. But, yeah, I don't know why they would do that to you. "Yes, I speak English. La, 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 la," in French.
And then don't speak English to you. No,
Mm.
no,
Mm,
no, no. And I did
yeah.
find, like, when we traveled through Europe and stuff that, I know for myself when there is a foreigner and they don't really understand English, I will actually talk slower because I'm
Yes.
hoping that there might be something in
Mhm.
there that you might understand.
Yep,
With them, they just and then you
yep.
say, "Pardon me?"
Mhm.
Just as fast as a second. You're like, "What?" Because
Yes.
if you go slow enough, I might pick out a word that might sound
Yeah.
familiar to me. When
Yes.
we were finished in Europe and we had 3 more days in England, I actually didn't realize once we got to England and you're just hearing natural English speaking,
Mhm.
s people, it was like all of a sudden I didn't realize just how tense I was
Yes.
listening for all the different countries that we had gone through,
Right.
that all of a sudden it was just this thing where it's like, "Oh, oh, I can relax." I'd never
Right.
experienced that before where it was like you're trying to go, I'm trying to find people that I can understand. I know
Right.
nothing.
Right. How
Mhm,
insane. That's
mhm.
just yeah, I don't think I would do well with that situation either. And so yes, me too.
Exactly. Mhm,
Oh, that would help. Yeah, I love
mhm.
color coding when it comes to maps.
It makes me
Yay! Hey,
mm,
PIA. Thanks for coming in.
yeah.
How you doing?
It's late night. Lots of people just late night, hey?
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm,
totally. I didn't get to go into Tampa. She might still be going. I'm not sure. But
mhm.
yeah, I got into Roosters and then I got like just so sidetracked and was laughing so hard.
Mm. Hey, Misha.
Hey Misha Lee, what's up? Good to see you. You're up late tonight.
Yeah, and there's some other ones
Good.
like,
Glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it.
um, who is it? Oh, Bayou Sugar. She's like, I go,
Yeah.
"It's late for me," and they're up listening to music, and it's
Yes.
like,
Right.
"The heck?"
Yeah. Right.
You guys are,
I
like,
know.
way up too late. Uh,
For sure. Oh, you
yeah.
just got home from here? Aw. I wish we weren't sick so I could have met up with you if you were down this way. That's what's so hard
Yeah.
is, like, the meetups. I need to have, like, a Florida meetup, but it can't be too far to where I would have to stay in a hotel with the kids.
Mhm, mhm,
That wouldn't be a relaxing trip for mama at all.
mm-mm. Nope.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I would like to have something here, though. I don't know how, like, Sherry and her husband, Black's Tropical, did all that to where they have the Soil Family Expo, like, how they arranged all that is just
Mm, mhm,
unbelievable. Like, I do not
mhm,
have that kinda organizational skills. Like, I would like a
mm-mm,
meetup, but at the same time, uh, maybe after I move out of this house, I don't know. Did you? Cool, you went to Texas? I wouldn't mind going there for a meetup either. I would like to see Texas.
mm,
I'd like to see a lot of, like, our states, at least, in the lower 48 and even go up and visit Diva and see what the island's like. But, yeah, I would need 2 of
mhm,
me. I would need 2 of me and a very hefty bank account.
mhm. Well, once you get here, once you get to the island,
Yeah.
then you don't have to worry about it's just getting here that
Mhm.
gets expensive.
Yeah. And for me, I can't say that for anybody, like, I have no place to put anybody. Like,
Oh,
I can
I
make
was
you
not like I was gonna put you in a nice place. You're just gonna wherever
yeah,
wherever there's a spot
couch.
to lay
You're
down, that's
fine.
where you lay down. It's just you can have that corner right there. It's a bit clean.
There you go. We got that lazy boy chair over there in the corner.
That's
There you
right.
go.
That
Here's
one will be
pillow.
fine.
Here's
Yeah.
pillow and
That's
blanket.
fine.
When I was younger, that would have been just fine.
No, I know. Yeah,
Oh,
well, like with
cool. Okay. Unicorn lady. Okay.
nice.
Cool. So did you get to meet Cece? Was it with Cece's Texas? Was she there? She's in that area with all the flooding that was happening. Poor Cece. And she said she was doing okay with that. I could use some of that rain. It was supposed to come in. Mike's comes out of the bushes.
Hey, Mike.
Oh my
Okay, I
goodness.
think I.
Got a big pallet on the floor. There we go. Hold on. Let me just set up these pallets for you. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, she was there.
That's awesome.
She just put me on the couch.
Oh,
It's what
Vaya
she
was there
here.
too. How fun,
Sure.
unicorn lady.
Yeah,
That
and there
sounds
was
like
they
fun
are. I've got
time.
there's
Go ahead.
multiple couches and multiple love seats in my living room. So depending on
Oh,
how
work.
gushy you want it, but no, I
Mhm.
You could just
since
put the
my daughter
couch
moved
up there in the garden. I'll be happy.
Right.
That's right. Here, we'll
Yeah.
just move it out here for you.
I just have
No,
so
but
much
since my daughter moved
stuff.
out, I am going to make a guest room.
Yeah.
It's would be nice to have a nice place for people if they
Mhm.
came to stay. Then
I don't think people would be able to relax in my home just with my son and the noise. But maybe. But we don't have a guest room, that's for sure. I don't even have his room cleaned out. So, yeah, I wish I could be the hostess with the mostest, but I'm not.
then
Maybe
that's okay.
hopefully one day. One day, hopefully.
No, it's still. Oh, of course, it's daylight there.
Crazy. That's so I loved that sunroof. That was cool, GT. I didn't get to watch you live yet because I was, doing the family time before doing live. But I saw the picture and I was like, "Wow, that's so nice." We had a problem with my mom's car. We had to fix the sunroof. They clog in some of the Volkswagens, and that's what hers did, the drainage, because there's drainage that runs down, and
Mhm.
it clogged, backed up, and poured back into the car when it was raining. Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
not Oh, okay, have a good night. Yeah, I'm gonna probably call it pretty soon. It's kind of one of
Good
those
night.
nights,
Mhm.
and Diva and I are both still getting over our stuff, but you sound great, I
Oh,
think,
yeah. Oh,
for
thanks.
for
Still
you're
have a
really
bit of the nasal, and then I do still have just every so often a burst, of dry cough. But
Mhm.
I'm just gonna publicly say it. But I'm not piddling my pants anymore, so that is a good sign.
Yes, I had that experience with that too. Yes, it's so much fun when you're
It
standing
was
in the
just like
kitchen and start
you're going,
gagging and, "Ooh,
yeah. You're like, I think I just
I think
piddled.
we went" mhm. Yeah, like, what is that about? I don't understand why that has to happen. Yeah,
Appeared to use
it's horrible.
45-gallon grow bag someone can sleep in. Oh, that's so
Oh,
great.
that's
That's
so
a
sweet.
nice
That is
size.
just so, so sweet. Just fill it with foam for them, and they could
Yeah, it's
just, like
barely been used, hardly
yeah,
used.
or make it like a ball pit. They could just sleep in a little ball
Yeah,
pit.
I'm assuming that wow was for me because yes, I am a
Wow.
person who just shares way too much
Me too.
information.
Me too. And I did the same thing. It happened. I could tell you in the places in the house that it happened, and I was like, "Ugh,
Oh,
no." But it's like either I'm going to not breathe or that's
yes.
just gonna happen
Yeah.
because I'm going into a coughing fit.
Yeah,
And
and they would last a long time, and you
mhm.
go, "I'm not," and I wasn't coughing up anything, it was just
No, it's
whatever
just
weird dry tickle, and it would just go on and on and on.
yeah. Yeah, I still have a little bit of that, but not that much. Mine though was I had drainage and it
Yeah.
was gross. That
Yeah,
was
see, I'm glad I did not, because
get
even when
that.
you were feeling better, you were still having all the drainage, and
Mhm.
I didn't
Yep.
have that going on,
Yeah, my
so
ear just decongested this week, maybe midweek, and I didn't
ooh,
even realize how congested my head was until it just went
right.
bloop, and I was like, "Oh, that just decongested.
That's right, you got
Wow, I can
he's
hear
like,
so much
You
better."
mean
Oh,
air, it's so free."
yeah.
Yeah, I'm still not, I still have some
of that.
Yeah, in the ears,
Yeah.
not fully cleared. Yeah,
Oh my goodness. Well,
I
guys, I'm gonna
know.
call it because it's just one of those nights that I'm ready for bed. And
Yeah, well,
even though it's 2:02 a.m., that's understandable. I was born at 2:02. That's when I was born.
oh,
Yeah,
yay,
on July 30th, 2:02 a.m. And what's funny is I
yay.
tend to look at the clocks at 2:22 when it's
Ow!
so weird.
Stop climbing on me.
Yeah.
That's so
I think
cool.
it's because my neighbor made me aware of it because she said that happened to her, and now it's like, "Oh, it's 2:22 again. How weird."
Mm,
Oh, so, like, you just notice it more. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate the chat too, and so much because I mean, it would just be a visit with the three of us, which was wonderful. But it's really great to have everybody come
the
in
extra,
and talk
yeah,
and encourage
yeah,
one another. So,
yeah. It is.
you know,
It's lovely. Oh, y'all like apricots? We sure do like apricots. Are you growing
I,
apricots, GT?
did you get an apricot tree? I'm jealous.
What are you asking because you're gonna send some or
Oh,
Oh
he
no,
had his
he
first
had his first
one.
one last week. They're very
oh,
lovely. Lovely.
They are.
Apricots are
I
lovely.
like them
I
dried.
I do too. I was just gonna say that.
They're
They're my
so good
favorite
when
when they're
dried.
dried.
Oh,
Yeah. I like them dried better than fresh.
yep.
I like nectarines more than I like peaches or apricots as far as
Mhm,
stone fruit. Nectarines are my
mhm.
favorite. Good night. Thanks, Misha. Thank you,
Yeah,
everybody.
you
And
have a
we
good
will,
weekend too, Misha.
yeah, hopefully see you at Divas. You are
Yeah,
doing it
tomorrow
tomorrow
night.
night? Okay.
Yep, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it's later for all of you.
Yep. 10 p.m. Eastern for us tomorrow night at Divas, and then 9:30 Eastern on Sunday night with Storms, Radios, and Cats. Barry.
Yeah.
You bet. You bet. You got him for sure, Bob.
Ah,
Thanks, Bob.
Oh, you're welcome. I hope, some people followed you
Yep, I did.
tonight. I
Are,
don't
are,
know,
are we allowed to
especially
say that word? What are we
yeah,
supposed
I
to say?
think so. I don't know. I
Chase.
hope somebody
Uh,
stalked you. You have a
hanging
new
out.
stalker.
Hanging out at your channel. I'm
I
hanging
hope you
out at
made
your channel.
I hope you
I'm
made
gonna
some new
start saying
friends.
chase.
I hope you made some new friends. There
Chase?
we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna chase them.
I
For all
chased,
that.
yeah.
Sounds so wrong.
I chased the
Oh,
off-grid
you're
trucker.
welcome.
Yeah.
Everyone says,
So
yes, yes.
GT,
Stay
do
safe
try
and be
them.
blessed.
Do try them dried. You might like them dried more.
Peace. And for GT, trust the process.
Trust the process. See you in the streets, YouTube
See you in the
streets.
YouTube.
Y'all stay blessed.
Yes, stay blessed. Thank you very much, guys. Talk to